So look, I don't want to be bougie, and you can tell me if I'm being bougie. And I come from humble beginnings, so I'm good with making sacrifices, and I can eat peanut butter and jelly for weeks if that's what we need to do.
I mean, that's
to
a
get
bonus.
I'm like, I can, no problem.
You got some peanut butter and jelly right now?
No, I don't even have the jelly.
He used to keep peanut butter for Adam, but he
I got
doesn't come
jelly
anymore,
for
so no more
Christmas
peanut butter.
last year.
I love peanut butter.
So, let me tell you, I'm with the shits. I will take sacrifices for the sake of the family in order for us to kind of get by.
And action
no
figures.
problem. No problem. Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. It would be my pleasure. But today, I noticed that we were out of toilet paper upstairs. So there was a bundle sitting downstairs. So I just grabbed a pack, took it upstairs, opened it up, put one on the little roll thing. And I was like, man, this shit doesn't feel nice. So I looked down at it, and there's a fucking store brand toilet paper. And I was like, no. This is not where the sacrifices are going to be made if we got to make sacrifices.
Yeah, I
make
100%
far
agree.
too much fucking money for this type. It was Wegmans toilet paper, to be fair.
That's
And I'm
just bougie saying that.
it wasn't like Piggly Wiggly or some shit, but
It wasn't paper.
right? But it's still
Single ply.
Yeah, it was not good.
Don't joke about
no.
the Piggly Wiggly, man. The tornado got the Piggly Wiggly.
Not that I really have to.
The tornado blew away the Piggly Wiggly that I worked at.
Really?
I mean, it's the most Alabama thing I could say. It's the God's honest truth.
So we are at episode 216 of Nerd Rage, and we have a full table today. We have Uncle Dolphin.
I'm okay with eating shitty food if my asshole isn't shitty
If your asshole isn't shitty,
with good toilet paper.
Okay.
wow.
Because sometimes if you have bad toilet paper, it just smears that shit around. It doesn't really.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
I agree.
And if you're eating shitty food for sacrifices, you definitely have a shitty asshole.
Yes.
So
Yes.
It's important.
This is true.
Wow. So I picked a great day to make a return.
We'll just continue clockwise. I think. I'm too tired and
This Sunday night energy is fucking great.
I'm too tired and low key fucked up to think about it. So, Dante the Destroyer's in the house.
Hey, what's up?
High energy,
Amazing.
high energy. And we have Chris Pickerton.
I am nasty, but I do have a toilet paper story. So I had house guests last night. I had Chan and JD and Mr. Unicron Tracker himself, Brian Brink. And I made a startling discovery this morning that of all the 3 bathrooms in my house, there was a half roll of toilet paper left, and we were out of back stock.
Oh my god.
So we literally kind of just passed this roll of toilet paper around for the rest of
That
it.
is
On my way out,
scary.
I did notice a almost full roll that my wife for some reason had on her desk in the workshop.
Just-
crisis averted. I still have to stop and get toilet paper on the way home. But hello everyone.
Sarah buys trash toilet paper.
I usually do not.
I don't mind cheap toilet paper.
No.
Oh, you're out of your
I-
fucking
no.
mind.
I mean,
It's important. It's fucking. It's important. It's a necessity.
I don't mind one ply. I
don't
can make it
know.
work.
Oh my god.
Listen, I worked retail for a long time, and what they give you is what they give you.
What do you use? Fabric hardener?
So I told
Sarge.
I told Mason that we were going to switch to one ply, and his response was, "I'm going to buy my own toilet paper and keep it in my room." Which I thought
I
was
will,
gonna be like at a
dude.
dorm?
That's something I've done before. Bring my own toilet paper to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've done
This
that.
m-
I've done that.
It's serious.
I've done that.
y'all are
I
trash.
don't have that issue, so I'm okay.
So we are recovering from the Halloween party. Maryland Phil is en route as well. I gotta take notice what Mike is his. He's got a very boisterous voice. Make sure that we turn it down a
We
fair
haven't
bit.
plugged it in yet, so we can adjust as
We can ride the wave.
But he is en route. So we'll talk about that a good bit, I'm sure. But before we do that, Joe, how was your nerd week?
Didn't do much. Worked. Oh, I want to clarify something from last week. I had a hard time articulating what I was trying to mean when we're talking about comic book movies.
Okay.
So what it is that I love sci-fi action movies. And a lot of comic book movies are sci-fi action,
That
but
is
not
true.
all of them are. And that's the difference. And that's why I'm not interested in like the Joker.
I'll have you know, I went back and listened to that episode.
It sounds crazy.
Well, no, it does. I mean, it does sound crazy, but you say I love Casino. you start off that conversation with, I love Casino.
It's
And by the end of the
context.
conversation, you're like, I don't really like it.
No, it's in the context of things.
Okay.
Like out of the movies I had to watch,
Okay.
which is a handful. I love it compared to Scarface.
Yeah, I think it's a better movie than
Yeah,
Scarface.
that's so it's relative.
It's a true story. That's why. Oh, the true story shit is always better. You know what I mean?
I mean, I just like grabbing the head of someone and making them give you a blowjob. That Joe Pesci move.
yeah.
That's
that's
just
always good.
all
It's a strong move.
That's what I remember of the whole fucking movie. I don't remember too much of anything. I remember that.
You don't
He is,
remember a
sure.
78 Coupe de Ville exploding?
He, I'll tell. Yeah, of course. I'll tell you what I remember from Casino. Like this very specific memory that Joe Pesci getting it from the back on Sharon Stone, and she, but from the side, they're like laying on their side, and he's getting it from the back, and like, I was watching it, and Laura was like, "Oh, I love that position," and I was like, "Oh no shit," and I just filed it away in my head. I'm like, "All right, we can go to that one."
It's also good because you can watch TV at the same time.
Well, I mean, you guys know two people from Alabama do it doggy style, right? So they can both watch the football game. Roll Tide!
Jesus Christ.
You can also do that with Canadians in hockey, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you can plug it in all sorts of places.
Canadians.
So they can both watch the third-party panel.
So continue.
And other than that, I just caught up with Dr. Stone. I love it. And in relative terms of anime, I love it.
Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone. That's it.
That's what science. And I think that's all I did.
Wow.
I think we all have a hard time remembering stuff from this past week, especially when we just recorded Wednesday, didn't we?
We recorded Monday. So
I'm fucked up. I haven't stopped. I haven't got off work since Monday.
Yeah,
So
that's rough.
I'll be off Thursday. This coming Thursday.
This coming Thursday? Yeah, and I'm not. With terrible schedules this week.
That's what we're recording
what
now
we're
on Sunday
recording
night
now.
with his
Sunday,
energy.
yeah.
Sunday night.
Your terrible schedule works out for me, though. Thank you, guys.
Dante, how was your couple weeks?
My nerd quarter.
Yeah, your nerd quarter.
Dude, I think I need to trademark that at the headquarters. Hold on, let me call my trademark guy. Hey, it's a nerd. Never mind. Sorry.
I've had a solid time.
Hey, angle your mic a little bit up so that you. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get right
Butter.
underneath there. Lots of Marvel Legends. Actually, Sarah's been buying a lot of Marvel Legends.
Yeah, and you collect the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
So you're in hog heaven of late.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Weird to say.
Yeah. Hogs really. I don't know.
I'm
Bacon.
familiar with that term, hog heaven. I've heard that.
But she's actually just been going all in. She'll fucking go somewhere, text me, "Hey, you need this?" It's like, yeah. Go ahead, get it. So we get a lot of Legends. Been watching. I go back and rewatch those Marvel movies, just over and over. But
All of them, or
yeah, just all.
Really?
Like I'm on a Civil War now.
That's a good one.
that's a good one.
Top 5.
I
Don't do it.
It's
Don't-
fine.
Don't, don't do it.
I just, I think I don't. I had an issue with it. Not as the movie. We were supposed to go see that movie, and Sarah's water broke that morning.
Oh, really?
So you have memories tied to that.
So we get to the hospital all day, just chilling, waiting. Finally, the baby's born the next day, and I was like, so we could have actually went to see the fucking movie.
You're a horrible human being. You know that.
But
That's my type of people.
God, if you weren't such a pussy.
like, God, you could have just fucking took one for the team.
Wah,
hold it in.
wah, baby, wah, wah.
I mean, when she told you your water broke, did you say, "I just cooked this pot pie. Can it wait?"
Like, God damn
Can
it!
it wait
I just
15
made these
minutes?
Pop Tarts. Like, hold on.
Homemade Pop Tart.
I watched Far From Home again with Sarah.
it's out now, right, on DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gramps. What technology?
Dude, the young kid was here. Not a young kid. I don't make it sound crazy, but like early 20s person was here last night and like saw my CDs and was like, he's like, man, I know somebody that buys these. like not
He's trying to move them
yeah,
for you.
like he's trying to
Like
yeah. he wanted me to know I wasn't alone. He's like, man, I know another person that buys these, man. You're yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too crazy. I know one other guy.
I can hook you up.
You know, everything's cyclical, right? So vinyl's back in style. So you know what'll be next is like a skipping ass Walkman.
You just wait.
Skipping ass Walkman.
Walkman just released
Like the original OG.
Yeah, for its anniversary.
Hey, hold this for me while I...
Well, I don't know if anybody still got cassettes.
That shit still trumps a Discman. I take 18 Walkmans over one
garbage.
fucking.
But yeah, I sat and watched Far From Home with Sarah, which the first time we went out to see it, I didn't hate the movie. It felt really long. It felt like it was dragging.
It does have some draggy spots.
And my back was hurting, so I was like, that movie's okay. But now sitting at home comfortable, liked it a whole lot more because I was at home and I could pee when I wanted to. And
They say you went to pee at your movie theater?
well, you know,
weird.
I feel weird, you know, in the theater because it's like I get up, I disrupt people, I can't pause it. If I pause it, and all you people get upset.
What if everybody in the theater had a remote? They could change it, pause it. Wouldn't get a lot done.
People are running it back.
Running back. Hold on. What did he say? Did y'all hear that? Can you put the subtitles on?
I think one of the things that bothers me about that movie is it's not in New York City.
Yeah, well, and
I think it's like a necessary recipe. Part of the
felt
recipe
a lot more apparent when we were watching. I was even kind of pointing.
You said there was a parent there.
It was a lot more apparent.
No. Several parrots were there.
Not Peter's.
Speaking in tongues.
Yeah, it's like,
Peter Tingle.
And I've seen pictures of London. I'm like, there's not even like a lot of high buildings in this fucking city. Like the Spider-Man's just running.
Well, and that's what I was saying. So it was like, yeah, like when we got to the end, you know, he's swinging through New York. I was like, I mean,
that feels right. It's like I need that.
We need more of this.
Yeah.
But she liked it. She liked it a lot. I just liked it more. And I guess that was coming like really off the heels of Marvel and Sony working their shit out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, it feels good to see this and knowing that they'll, you know, do something else. I don't know, in my heart, because I'm a horrible human, I hope like, hey, okay, we got this deal worked out. Now let's make one more movie, kill them. That way they don't have to fucking worry about it ever again.
Just kill all of them.
That's what I'm hoping happens. And I know it's shitty to say that, but we don't need this fucking drama. Just fucking kill them, like in a nice way.
I wonder, like, what I would like to see a list of characters that Sony has exclusivity to regarding Spider-Man. Like, where does that line?
900 characters.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I wonder why Kingpin isn't in there. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain.
It's like characters like is it slapstick or slap? Like
I hope so.
So it's
but like
right.
that's
It's that
one
whole
of the characters. Sleepwalker,
the B and C level villains.
Yeah.
Like 890 of them are
Trash.
Silver
That's-
Fox.
it's like 10 of them that-
There's just like all these wild
The
characters.
Underminer from the Incredibles somehow falls in that deal. Yeah.
Because they mentioned that when they start talking about doing the Black Cat and Silver Sable movie and Morbius movie, they're like, yeah, they own like over 900 characters from that Spider-Man universe. Crazy. And I was like, do they even have that? Like, how do they have that many fucking characters?
It's so funny
in that
to
world? Like, who counts in that world?
Yeah.
What year was that deal originally? Was it for the first Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
Is that so? Was
because I mean they were selling it all off. Marvel was selling it all off
Yeah.
because they were fucking tanking.
they were broke?
So they sold it to Fox. They sold it to Sony. Whoever had money, they were they were willing to get rid of it.
What was what's that? Where was Blade? Was that New Line Cinema?
Which is actually a Time Warner.
It's a Time Warner property,
subsidiary.
so
which is crazy because like that's fucking
those rights went away before this deal came around, though.
Yeah, but it's just crazy. Like DC had the rights to Blade, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
There's your crossover.
Blade might fit better in the DC universe, to be honest.
When they announced Blade, a new Blade movie, I was just wondering how's that even going to, like, where does that tie into anything, like any of the phases or?
Well, I
Hopefully it
mean,
doesn't.
it's a ways off, and that was a very odd announcement. That one seemed horribly out of place to me.
I do wonder how much of it is going to play into that universe. Like if they might start toying around with the idea of some, almost like single shot things that are just taking place like without having it super tied in.
But there's so much potential for a Marvel Knights movie series.
Yeah.
The Punisher, basically the Netflix shows with more characters.
Yeah.
And then they just, I guess, say Marvel Studios is overseeing all of that now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
that's
could
what-
be trying to sneak that in now.
Maybe.
So
How relevant is Blade without vampires, though?
Well, why would they not have vampires?
No, I'm just saying. You have to shoehorn vampires in somehow. If
Right.
there's
Oh,
Blade.
well, I mean, they're everywhere.
and that's a weird thing I was thinking
You had to
about.
get some sort of monster that would, you know what I mean? It had to be like some sort of like horror type monster that would play into the if he's going to be tied into the main event.
Yeah,
you know?
who
Yeah.
knows? It could
That's
be
what
some
I
sort
mean.
of
Like
one-off.
it limits.
Right.
I just hope
Yeah.
they give.
Certain
I
ways.
hope they give Wesley some sort of like cameo in it. I
He'll
think
be-
they will.
He'll be the monster.
Maybe Chris Christopherson will be there.
Maybe he'll be dead.
In the X-Men, Jubilee
Whistler.
becomes a vampire or some shit like that. I think.
Yeah,
I was
but that's
thinking
like
that-
way. Yeah, but that's X-Men. Like
They had like a
way-
whole book series about alternative vampires, didn't they? I know they did
No, but
zombies.
Jubilee,
didn't
I think, is still a vampire, right? Didn't she have a kid and shit?
But I don't know all that.
Damn,
Like,
what's-
Who, did,
checked
who hit
out.
that?
they? What's in that bubble gum?
Who did it? Once you turn vampire, you just bang everybody, right?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
and I feel like no matter how whatever you look like, once you become a vampire, you're like instantly 25 at minimum % more sexy.
Yeah, I think so. Too.
Because you're shiny. Shine.
But that like I thought about that a couple weeks ago. I was like, well, I don't think they'll link that in any way, shape, or form. But that is just something to think about in the comic world. That Jubilee's a vampire. Let Blade kill her. I mean, fuck her. I like Jubilee.
And then Blade and
but
Wolverine can fight.
That'd be cool.
That would be a good fight
yeah.
to
Like,
watch.
I'm down for that.
Has that ever happened?
I don't think so. No, probably. I don't know.
Probably. It's
I'm
fucking-
sorry. I'll wait till Phil's here. He'll know. He'll probably be able to
Encyclopedia.
rattle off pages and issues. And
Yeah.
But,
what if Volume 12 issue?
They
Panel.
wouldn't raise their voices at each other once.
It would be a very quiet fight.
Really, that's all in nerddom. I mean, jiu-jitsu stuff. That's just choking people,
Yeah.
getting choked.
Sure.
Yeah, if that counts, then I've been
The
like,
second part sounds weird. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, on low key, I might probably be into it, but it's just odd to
Trust
hear
me,
you
it's
say-
really weird that I pay
getting choked
people to
out.
do this to me. And it's like, wow.
It's probably not that strange.
Have you ever tried it?
What's that?
paying people to choke me. Weird.
Well, without the payment, like getting choked out while you.
Oh, absolutely. Who hasn't?
oh yeah,
I tell you, it's not
I
for
mean,
me.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
it's just like the raising the hip thing. It's not for you.
that's definitely not for me.
I think I put it in the same bag.
I'm super uncomfortable about it, man. Laura's always Laura's like, it's like I think that, what's fucked up. You know what I should make whatever I want to be like a taboo, like a super taboo thing for me. Like I'll be like, look, like oh man, like you know what would really stress me out. Like I'm glad you're never asking about because I just don't know how. Just 6 other girls, you and then me, just in one bed because I can't handle that. Because I swear to God, every time I tell her I'm like not into something, that's what she wants to, like full steam ahead.
So
Like-
let's explain. Let's explain to the audience the hips thing in case we have new listeners. Hopefully,
Okay.
we have new listeners.
So I am uncomfortable being undressed by a woman in the specific scenario of laying on your back in bed and then having to like put your feet on the bed like with your knees bent and then raise your hips up for her to like
thrust.
for her to like take your pants off. There's something about it that just feels fucked up to me. So I got a thing about it. So I started asking people about it like last year, and and it's become like a kind of a funny topic of conversation. But ever since the topic has come up, now Laura's like into it, like super wants to do it. Like like every turn, I'm like, no, not tonight. Come on, man. Like I need a few more drinks, or we start getting weird. So I should just say, I should just come up with, I should just make a list of all the things I want to do, and then be like, yeah, I'm weird about that.
I never want to be pegged, Laura. Never. I'm definitely not into that.
So like that's one I probably wouldn't mention necessarily,
That's what I'm saying, right? Get in where you fit in,
so to speak.
so to speak.
It's good stuff, man.
Maybe.
All right.
So what position?
Any.
Any?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I it was funny.
The on your back is the missionary is weird because your dick is in the way.
So I asked like a group of guys one time I was hanging out with about it, like, and if you had to get pegged, like, what position would you want to be in? And like all the guys was like, ugh, like just trying to like come to terms with it in their head, right? Is that this one dude instantly was just like on my side, Like,
He's done it.
like the intimate directions, right?
it was so funny to me. Oh, my side. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold the presses.
What's up?
Phil, grab a. Okay, and a stool.
And we have an immediate Marvel Comics question for you. It's straight out the gate, so we'll let you get settled in and comfortable.
Yeah.
You got it. I just don't want to forget it. Hey, by the way, speaking of not forgetting, please send your logos to me, chris.pinkerton@gmail.com. It's weird feedback.
We have a bottle opener. But yeah, we've already got one.
We've got one that's
Yep.
that's really good. So we
Yep.
have a really good contender. So if anybody else is working on something, make sure you send it in so we can take a look at it.
I'm not that creative. So.
I've seen the T-shirt.
All right.
No, that was creative as shit. That was that peak.
If you were to be creative, do you think you would spell it with an 8 in the center?
Fuck yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, that's
How I know somebody's for real creative.
that's the limit of my creativity.
Yo, did you bring more than one root beer? I didn't know we were stocked. I'll get one.
Everybody leaves drinks there. Okay,
It's true. It's true.
Well, I'll get one. This is a party. So,
Get the
I
fucking vitamin water
plug
every
in. Give
fucking
me
week.
the,
no, just keep talking into that.
it's
Phil.
right.
Just talk really loud.
There it is, right there.
All right, hang on, everybody, hold your ears. Here comes
Here comes Phil. I'll adjust.
All right,
I'll adjust.
start
I don't
with.
have any problem projecting, guys.
I
you go.
know, we know you don't, but we know. Make sure. Okay, here's our question. We were. I don't even know how we got there.
Okay.
Have Blade and Wolverine?
Oh, I thought we were gonna ask him what position he's pegging.
Well, we'll get to that. But I said I had a Marvel Comics question.
Oh, wait, that first.
I never pegged you as a Marvel Comics guy. Anyway,
You haven't pegged me.
not yet.
Well done. Well done.
There's
Quite a few people have though.
Fair enough. Have Blade and
Maybe just ask, like,
Wolverine
ask us
ever?
around town. Like,
I'll tell
You'd be
you
surprised
what.
how many chicks are into it. Every chick I've dated.
yeah, it's a power thing, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Hey.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Chicks are like
there.
I'm
We should ask the wives. Bring them down. Would you?
I know Laura would.
This is like hurting.
Sarah would
cats.
look at me like, "What the fuck? We're going home now.
Bad
Can't come play
influence.
with them anymore."
No more play
Okay.
dates.
Just go ahead and ask him and get it out of the way so we can move on solidly to this.
If you
thing.
had to get pegged by a lady,
Like
Which
with
which
like a
position?
man boy or somebody with a dildo?
No. Someone with
no.
a strap, a girl with a strap on.
Okay.
Which position would be your preference? See,
That's that audible sigh. You
Everybody
get it from
hits the
everybody.
same
It's like-
side.
that's the correct response that I don't have. I'm like, oh yeah,
But
doggy.
that's the
Dude.
that's the
Hey,
sigh you're gonna
we
make.
don't all
anyway.
have the history you've got, Joe.
I'm the only one with that history.
Because there's the weird thing about some of that to me when I started to really get into it is like, if I arch my back, that's crazy.
But if you don't,
you get it deeper when you.
Do I put my head down?
but if you don't,
Yes.
if you don't arch your back, that might be crazy too. Yeah.
Like a fucking cat with a cat back, like Halloween cat.
Please end this segment, Phil.
Yes.
Put a bow on this, so to speak.
So let's ask him the. Oh yeah, you have to answer, and he'll ask you the right question.
Put a pin in this.
I mean,
Put a pig in it.
Pin to the wall.
I can't be
works.
looking, but I need to be.
You can't. You know,
I need to be warned when they're about to do something.
So
Kind of
you-
like when you're at the doctor's.
he doesn't want eye contact.
So Phil wants to get on all fours, but then straighten his legs all the way out so he can look
Maybe.
from behind. So you can see what's happening,
That might
and then
sum
at
it
that
up.
point you can make a decision whether you want to drop down or not.
Yeah.
what the
I'm
fuck is
thinking
wrong
that's
with
it.
us?
Okay,
Just me.
back to Nerd Rage Radio. Not prostate exam this morning. Have Wolverine and Blade ever had a conflict in Marvel Comics that you know of?
No, they've had team ups, but I don't think they've ever had a conflict.
Okay.
And they compared fang sizes.
The
They both sniff stuff and see stuff well, right?
Yeah.
Never see it's a good fight, and they both regenerate probably.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I think it'd be a
good
good
fight.
fight.
Yeah. That would be cool. I think they have like scuffled, but I don't think they've ever had like a knockdown.
Was it a kerfuffle?
Yeah, I just think it's. I think it'd be an interesting one to see. I'm sorry, Dante. Continue about your nerd week or nerd quarter.
We end up with choking. That's how we got the pegging.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I made a joke about that went off the rails for 22 minutes, but that's okay.
It's not rage.
It's Nerd Rage
Nerd
Radio
Rage.
for you.
Also,
That's a good shirt. That's Nerd Rage.
I'm
Yeah.
coaching the kids jiu-jitsu. That's pretty cool. I've been doing.
Are you letting the kids choke you too, or are you just choking kids?
Actually, no. I have to do the belt testing
How?
and spar with them, and if they get my back, I don't. I want to make sure they get the technique, for the choke right. But then,
So how old of children is this that you're?
like not weird, like
No, I mean, is it like 5 and 6?
not the answer.
Dude, is it 5 and 6 year olds or is it like 9 and 11-year-olds?
Yeah, like between 6 up to I think 13.
Okay.
Well, because the 13-year-old, I kicked him right in his fucking chest.
I was gonna say you can definitely kick the shit out of a 13-year-old.
Well, no,
that's
because
allowed.
coach was like, "Hey," he was telling the kid, was like, "Don't forget you can use your kicks." And I looked, I was like, "Oh shit!" And a teep right in the chest, just knocked him back. He fell down, and part of me was like, "Oh shit, my bad." And then like coach was like, "Get up, get up!" So I rushed him. I was like, "Fuck no!" You get up, like nah.
You're in the teens, bro.
Yeah, fuck him.
You're almost a man.
I saw you do some move to Chris last night, like some practice move. I feel like where you like showing how to do something.
Oh, we were just kind of dancing around a little bit with it.
Yeah,
Our,
but
our combined.
It's kind of a lap dance, but you know, a little weird. But I was
you
into
put
it.
beads on. You have a chance to put beads on my back. I'm gonna be into it.
I was just looking at it like, man, like that's a tall tree to climb right there if you really want to.
It's easy to
No,
chop
I got
down.
this one dude. Well, there's two dudes I train with. They're like 6'4" and 6'5". Fucking sucks. So
Yeah.
fuck them too.
Don't you just take their knees out at that point when they're so tall?
Well, a lot of times, I mean, once you end up on the ground, it don't even matter. Like with long limbs, it's
it's
frustrating.
Like, it just wraps around you and shit.
Yeah.
So to speak.
I wear a cup. Most don't. So
Do you wear it underneath your underwear?
What?
Oh, the cup.
That's weird.
I wear the cup, the jock strap, and then I wear tights over top. Of
I've
it.
never been able to wear a cup.
Wait, it's
that's
an
a-
insert.
I wasn't able to
have
wear a
these-
cup until I got kicked in the nuts. And
But like
shit,
no,
so
but I mean
was
like the
I can wear it
strap, like
now.
the whole
Yeah.
jock strap.
I don't wear a
thing.
jock strap. They have like compression shorts with the pocket where you put.
Yeah.
Correct.
I can't
That's
wear
what I wear.
those. The pockets are usually too loose, so I don't.
Okay.
Because I have crushed the ball. Like,
Oh.
Not like
Oh.
but like I felt
Yeah.
it like pressing. I was like,
Oh.
nope. And so
Is it like when you're squeezing a grape, but it was right before it pops? The skin starts to tremble a little bit. Is that what it felt
my
like?
stomach's actually
Right there.
my stomach
on,
hurts right now.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Fuck.
Chris is like raking his nails on the chalkboard.
This is a JOI.
Hurting
Joe.
my
It's a
stomach
JOI.
right now just thinking about that.
But like, I remember when I did Taekwondo, they used to ask that you wear like a jock strap underneath like the gi or whatever, like. And I was like, I did it one time, and I was fucking miserable. And I was like, no, never. I'll never do this.
So I
again.
probably should have when I wrestled because guys were, you're giving somebody a gut punch. Well, guess what? My dick is where most people's guts are. So like I wrestled
Sock you
me
in
and
the
my
cock.
brother-in-law wrestled the circuit. Like we'd wrestle each other a lot, and every fucking match he punched me in the nuts.
I used to wear it over top of the pants.
Like a superhero.
Like when it was
that's wild as fuck.
Yeah,
Sometimes-
like when it was
That's
time to
wild as
fight,
fuck.
I was like I would only put it on when we were sparring. You know what I mean?
Kubrick's
But I-
Clockwork
I would,
Orange when he's got the cod piece.
Yes.
you would go to put your
Alex
pads
Stallone.
on and shit, and I would put my pads on, and then I put the shit up over. I couldn't handle it, man. I was like, this is so
Sometimes
uncomfortable.
I will wear like depending on what day. Like if I'm rushing from work or something, I just keep my drawers on. Just throw the cup on top because it's like I'm not going through the steps of taking everything off and putting everything back on.
Yeah, man, that
But,
shit is not for me.
Like when playing football, I couldn't wear a cup. They're like, you got to wear a cup. I can't run with a cup on. It's too restrictive. But jiu-jitsu, I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting my nuts crushed.
Right.
And then last thing, we've been watching Shameless. It's been on for a while.
William H. Macy show.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
We watched it in the beginning, like because it was just all these seasons at one time popped up on Netflix, so we just sat there and just watched them for weeks. And I'm looking back on, it's like, was this really like a lot of social issues going on in that show? I don't know, because this new season, there's like a lot of social stuff going on, like the youngest daughter, she's a welder, she's the only female there, and finds out, hey, all the guys are making more money than me, so this becomes a big thing. Then there's the youngest son is black, the rest of the family's white, biological, he is their child, but he goes to a private school, and William H. Macy, he's banging all the PTA parents, so they kick the kid out because of that. And he's calling around to other private schools like, hey, I need to get into another private school. And they're like, what's the ethnicity? It's like black. Oh, we already got one. And like hung up on him. But
Whoa.
like stuff like that. There was one other one. Oh, and then he set up a lemonade stand in front of this lady's house. They're like gentrifying the neighborhood now. And this lady comes in with her nice little Subaru, and is like, somewhat rude about it. Goes into her house, and she's like, "Oh, can you guys move?" And, like, she calls the police on them, and like takes out her phone. She's recording them, saying, "Oh, they're making a scene." And I was like, "Oh." Like, as I'm seeing all these things, like, this is a lot of shit that was just been happening recently in the news. And then I was like, I don't know if this always been the direction of the show or the new writers on the show. I mean, it's a interesting show. I like it, but just this last season just seemed too. It's like everything that's happening. It's like I just saw this in the news last year. Like I don't know if that's. I don't know that I know anyone else that watches the show, so asking them like, "Hey, like, how do you guys feel about that?" Versus like Sarah, she's just like, "It's fine." Like, I guess I'm kind of annoyed by it.
So it's interesting to kind of be on an island with some of these shows we watch, because I mean we all watch shit that the rest of us aren't ever really going to watch, but to not have anybody to talk to about. Like, there's a show called Burn Notice that came on USA for.
Oh, I watched it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well,
very
where the
famous.
fuck were you when I was trying to? Because I mean, nobody in my life
I know of it. I never really watched.
like had watched
I
it
used
or
to
knew
watch
the
the
characters.
first 6 minutes of Silk Stockings all the time.
Hey man, that,
On
that
USA.
was hot shit back when I was a teenager.
on USA, and it was funny.
You
They're
knew
like,
that when that shit came on, you're like, all right, I got about 3 minutes before this shit makes a hard
Pulls the
left.
stockings up that leg. It's like, whoa.
and it was always like that was right
everything.
after Monday night. It was like after Monday Night Raw, Silk Stockings. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the transition here? How are you getting there?
As soon as the fucking theme song started, that's when the sex was done. But if you could get it in before the, as a young lad.
I like
Dude, I used to watch the infomercial. Like, as I said, I to watch TV, like after, like Outer Limits and fucking Tales from the Crypt and shit. They would have those like sex phone number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
those-
I would fucking
That was
record those.
fantastic.
I would record a bunch of those
Yeah.
on a tape and then watch them
That's
back
like
to
the
back to
weird,
jerk
that's,
off
the,
to.
that's the weirdest boner jams I've ever heard of. Dude.
This is how you know you're in the fucking 80s, bro.
Yeah.
Boner jams 89, nothing but 900.
Man, my man had a whack it playlist.
Kids don't know these. They don't know what it's like to be without internet.
That's true.
Or be able to record or stream stuff.
I was gonna ask a question. I know we got to get back to the burn, but I'm serious. But I had a question about music video that you got your rocks off to the most.
Promise of a New Day, Paul Abdul. Fucking every morning.
You don't need to think about
Every
it.
morning.
Fuck no, because that was the first time I
Promise of a
really,
new
because she was under the
day.
waterfall and she was in the bikini top, and I was like, what the fuck am I seeing?
I
And
need
was like,
somebody to touch me right now because me and you are on the same fucking wavelength. We need to interlock fingers on this one, dude. That's how weird that shit is.
That shit looks like a Time magazine.
Ebony and Ivory.
Dude, I think that might have been mine too, man. You just put me in a
I have
spot.
two, and one of mine's a Paul Abdul as well. Cold Hearted Snake.
I was just like, Cold Hearted Snake was the other
Cold
one.
Hearted Snake was in there, and then my other one would be If Janet Jackson's If.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about Janet Jackson stuff. Like,
Do you remember VH1 used to have like a video show that came on at like 11 at night that was like, it was called like edgy whatever, but it was all like super sexy music videos, and they
don't
just would
remember
play a
that.
whole bunch back to back. It was the only thing on VH1 worth watching at the time.
Wow.
But
Missed that.
aside from behind the music, but I used to like, if it was like 11 p.m. and I was like, man, I'm getting itchy.
here's one. Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. With
That used to be on that shit
Helena
all the time, on the
Christensen rolling
VH1
around
shit
with
all
no
the
top
time.
on.
I watched that video.
I used to want to
every
brush her
time.
face off. She always had the sand on her face. Like, come on.
Come on, girl. You know where that sand's going to end up?
I used to
gets
watch that
everywhere.
video
Yeah,
each time thinking this is going to be the time that hand's going to come down and I'm going to catch nipple. Like,
Never.
every time I watch, I was like, maybe today. No?
You guys remember, I mean, this is the Wayback Machine here. How excited you'd be. Yo, did you hear that Helena Christensen's going to be in Playboy next month?
Yeah, or so-and-so's going to be in a movie.
Right, yeah.
Topless or whatever.
Yeah. It was like such a big deal, and now it's like...
Now.
And I was like, who gives a shit?
It's like celebrity fappening. Well, okay.
And I always,
Yeah,
you know what I
them
credit as the fall-off point for that? Holly Berry in Swordfish.
Yeah, it was such a disappointment. Oh my god.
It was such a disappointment. I feel
was
like
just
that
the
was
angle that killed it.
That was when the tide turned and people stopped giving a shit. They're like, oh, you know
they
what?
just
Never,
people-
never,
Well, they
never
hyped it up
mind.
so much, and it was like she's just sitting there on the lawn chair.
Yeah.
Like, Oh, okay. Okay. Well, all right, titties. All right.
Yeah.
That's fucking lame.
And that movie was awful.
Yeah. It was.
I can't remember.
was
the
a fun
plot.
romp,
I think it was
Chris.
very
No, it was
complicated,
not.
wasn't it?
It was a very complicated caper
I'm not
movie.
sure
Yeah.
how I had 2 copies of that movie. Like, because I shouldn't have had one.
One to rock and one to stock. That's why. That's how I keep. That's how I keep everything, man. That's a sneaker.
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
It's a sneakers head thing.
So you did you want to continue with Burn?
Oh, I was just mentioning that Burn Note. It was a show I really enjoyed, and I nobody I knew watched it. I literally knew nobody who watched it. So
Oh, yeah, watch it.
like
he was the bad guy in Hitch.
yes, yeah.
He was the crazy guy in Blair Witch
Hitch?
too.
Yes, he was.
Hitch
Hitch was
talking
Will
about
Smith.
Jeffrey Donovan.
You don't, need to make, you don't need to make pizza. They got food there. That's my favorite line in that shit. I say it. Yeah, I usually say it to people when they try to overdo something. Like if anybody's like trying to like,
was also-
no man, because it's like, hey man, you ain't gotta make pizza. They got food there.
He was also the bad guy in the new movie Villains, which was really cool. It was an indie film.
He's got a bad guy face, but he did
Yeah.
he did a good guy pretty good in Burnout.
Yeah, Michael Weston, and then
You say you got a bad guy face.
Sam Axe.
Some people have bad guy faces, man.
I agree, but it's just they're like, "What's up, man? You know, someone's like kind of got a bad guy face." Oh yeah. You're talking about Daryl.
I got somebody in mind. Daryl.
And this one girl, I don't know if you remember. I don't want to say her name. She lived in Cedric's neighborhood. She was a cheerleader. Her name was Liz. Someone said about her, they're like, Liz has a face only a mother could love. So that's the kind of shit I think of about bad guy faces. It's her face. Like I connected with her on Facebook like recently. Super anti-gay. Super
Really?
anti-black.
Really?
Like, I was like, what? Like, but she friended me, and then
What?
yeah, no, it got really weird because like we're good friends, and she friended me on Facebook. Was like, hey, how you been? Blah 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 blah. It was when gay marriage got approved across the nation. And all of a sudden, she started putting up posts like, "Well, I want a straight Pride Day and and white." I was like, and I started putting up. So I started going like, I doubled down on the other end because I don't really care about any of it. So I was like, I did the rainbow profile picture and everything.
Don is just looking to incite whatever he can.
Because her husband he went to Oklahoma Hills too. They moved down to Florida and started doing
Meth.
Florida stuff.
yeah, Florida stuff. But once all that stuff started going, I was like, well, fuck him too. So I went in on him as well because ultimately I didn't like the kid when we were in school and I wanted to fucking beat him up so much. So now
was it?
his name was Sean. Same last name as myself.
Oh really? Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar.
He came on board. He moved here like later. Like
Oh, it might have been after I got taken out of that high school.
One of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, actually. But fuck them too. But yeah, that was pretty much my nerd week. I watched some wrestling.
Did you want to talk about Midsummer?
Crazy
you
about
watch-
the Fiend.
Did you watch? Have you watched AEW?
I have not yet. I tried to, but my
Did you see
Fire
it on my
Stick
cable
kept
box? It's here on Fire Stick.
it kept jamming up on me.
Yeah, I can't find it. I watched it live the other night for the first time. These guys don't care about wrestling. So
Did you talk about Midsummer?
I have not.
Okay.
That
didn't
was
know if
part
you
of it too.
wanted to-
I
okay.
did enjoy Midsummer.
Nice.
I actually
Make it
went
old
in-
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that, you should see it. It's good.
I'm all about anything that involves cults and
I want to check that out.
It's just a bunch of
people.
crazy white people doing crazy white people things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude.
Basically.
I mean, I was upstairs eating pumpkin fluff earlier. That's probably that's white as hell.
I tasted that last night. I was like, "What the hell is
Dude,
this?" I was like, "This
it's
is
great.
too weird." I didn't like it.
I
I'm
don't-
not a huge pumpkin fan.
I'm not either. But
It
it's
sounds
like
like a
this
move.
light, fluffy.
Right?
Pumpkin
I'm gonna hit break me off with a pumpkin fluff.
You know? Dude, that sounds like it could be a drug reference.
I think that's a pagan move.
Well, the fire stick
up,
is what I
girl?
call the peg.
What's up, girl? Let me get that pumpkin fluff.
Yeah,
tonight.
you gotta double down on that pumpkin fluff. Hey, you ever been pumpkin fluffed in the winter?
Everybody's talking about pumpkin and fall. I mean,
I have a horrible pumpkin-related limerick that a very old man taught me in Alabama.
Oh God!
When
Alabama
it's
shit.
when it's hot and sultry, that's no time for adultery. But when there's frost on the pumpkin, it's time for Peter Duncan. So
Was he cutting off a slice of apple with a pocket knife?
Yeah.
Straight into his mouth.
Yeah, that was it. Terry Nave talking like this. But he was the guy like people call and like, I'm talking to Terry Nave. Because he knew he was like, why do you spark plug for a 82 go-kart lawnmower? And he'd have it for him. But every
Awesome.
first time,
A lot of philosophers down in
first
Alabama.
time he come, first time. First
They
time
carry a
he
spittoon
had
around
to-
with them.
First time we had to wear we had to wear coats to work. He'd walk in, just like frosting a pumpkin. Looking at all these little code words. I transferred to stores and he got fired. But anyway, it's a great story. Shout out to Terry Nave wherever you are. He told me the story one time. He said, he probably grew up like in the 60s, 70s, that era. It's wild as fuck. He's we had these two road horses on the side of the road, man, just bent over a car, just breeding them.
Oh my god!
I feel dirty.
Just breeding
Yeah,
them.
that's just filthy. Oh my god! I think a guy like me, but
man.
have some couth, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Can you at least go to a truck stop? Breeding these. I'm sorry. Things that are popping into my head today.
That's rough.
Maryland Phil, do you want to get your nerd weekend?
Sure. I managed to see Joker twice, which I still stick with like 8.5. I still like it as a film, and I kind of like it a little bit better as a Joker film now that I've seen it a second time. I still don't really like the way Thomas Wayne is portrayed, though. And his makeup is probably the other thing that takes me from giving it like a 9.
Have a little bit of yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think my common phrase about that movie now is just great movie, good Joker movie. I don't think it's a great Joker movie.
yeah.
Like, definitely worth seeing. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like I don't know what the right word is.
Still one of
but
the best I've seen this year.
I think it pushed. I think people will look back on it as one of those movies that pushed the genre.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So I hope DC continues to do like one-offs like this.
Yeah.
Especially if he goes back, and I watched some behind-the-scenes stuff on YouTube about like Todd Phillips doing interviews and stuff, and I'm hoping he'll go back and do other Black Label stuff, or
can't
what he
believe that's
considers Black Label stuff as
Watching
one-offs with DC.
Watching that movie, I'm like, I can't believe this is the Hangover dude.
Yeah, it is surprising.
Like, what the fuck?
I caught part of that movie on TV the other day. Like Zach Galifianakis' character is so fucking crazy in that.
So that movie for me is the movie that is like one of my I can't believe this movie's getting brought up movies. Like,
Oh yeah.
like where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to get in a conversation about this movie because I don't like it, and I'm the only one that doesn't like it at every fucking table that it gets brought up at.
I mean, I'm not gonna do car wheels about it. If it's on, I'll watch it.
people
but I'm not
love
going
that
to-
shit.
They do.
Like people
I think-
talk about it. Like,
I mean,
like
listen, Bobby, they liked it so much that they made the same movie 2 more times.
correct.
I like the first one, but
Which
the second
one's
and third one
which one's-
were lame.
it's
to
like-
me.
See, I feel like people talk about it like it's like there's like they put it in that there's something about Mary or Super Bad Pocket, and I'm like, no,
I don't. It's not that to me
Yeah.
at all.
Which one is Mike Tyson in the first one?
Yeah, he's in the first one.
I've never seen any of them.
Speaking
Yeah,
of super,
His
In my
scene in
opinion,
there
I
is
didn't
probably
care
my
about it.
favorite though
In my
because
opinion, you're not
it's
missing much.
he's just being himself.
Mason told me the other day, he's like, hey, I watched Superbad the other day. I
Superbad
said,
is
yeah?
good.
What'd you think? He's like, it's pretty good. I said, I thought there'd be semen everywhere. One of my favorite lines from that movie.
Relevant to the Joker, isn't super bad where the everyone's putting out the meme where
Yes,
the outfit is
the
the same.
vest.
So it's the same guy.
It's a McLovin, yeah. There's like it's McLovin. They're saying Superbad's
okay.
a prequel to it because he wears that vest. in the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, such a cheesy.
I saw the Zach Galifianakis movie on Netflix, the Between Two Ferns movie.
Tried to watch it.
I think it's great, but I like his show.
Well, I
because
like
of how
the show, but I
because of how uncomfortable it on purposely is. It's good.
That's
It's
Bobby's
great.
Have you seen it, Bobby?
I should give it a shot, but I'm
Yeah.
not overly impressed with that dude. And
Well,
there's not one movie like the one with him and Robert Downey Jr. is probably my favorite.
Due Date. I've never seen that.
So that of all of
pretty good.
the movies that he's done, that's
Yeah.
probably my favorite. But I just feel like I put him in the Rock pocket. You know,
Really?
yeah,
Rock pocket.
Hey, can we trademark Rock Pocket? Rock Pocket. No K. R-O-C.
dude, that's a shirt. Rock Pocket.
But I put him in the same where it's like it's one of these guys that when he comes up, everybody adores him, and I'm like, I don't get it.
I think
get
he's.
it.
I think he's way more clever than The Rock. But
No. It's just
Rock's just
no.
big
I'm not
and scary.
saying
Ain't nobody gonna say no to that dude.
No, I mean it's in that Schindler's List.
Don't get
ET
involved.
comparison.
Schindler's List.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Myself,
that's
too.
true.
But it's just another actor that would.
Have you ever
is
watched
adored that I don't get?
Between Two Ferns show on YouTube at all, where it originally started? Okay. Well, it's basically a derivative of that, where it becomes an extended version.
Well,
Will
it's
Ferrell
like
is
behind
great
the
in
scenes.
that.
He is
Yeah.
good in that. I didn't finish it.
Yeah,
I gave up.
where
on it.
he basically winds up being his boss. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love Will Ferrell. I
Which
do,
he actually is, and for that.
and I do hear that show with the Eastbound and Down guy is great. There's like
Oh,
a new
the,
show.
Righteous Gemstones.
Is that
Oh,
good?
really?
Yeah, it's
Where
pretty fucking good.
Everybody.
Where's this found?
It's on HBO. It's
Same.
pretty
That's
funny.
why I have never
It's
heard
not
of
my
it.
budget.
They say that's just funny as fuck.
Like I watched it like kind of on accident. And I was like, "What is this?" And it's a weird like start off, but you get the gist of where they're going with it. And I just think mega churches are hilarious anyway.
Right.
Oh, is that what? Is that the
Like the family, they run a mega church and all the shits that go
Oh,
with
I think
it.
I've seen a trailer for this.
I mean, like that dude, man. When he's in his bag,
Danny McBride?
he is outstanding.
I'll tell you, Tropic Thunder,
Dude, that's
oh my
when
god,
he's so
that
good
movie,
in that.
If you think about the cast of that movie, holy shit,
fucking
yeah,
amazing.
it's crazy.
there's just it's ridiculous.
I even liked him in the Alien movie.
Oh yeah, in
I was surprised he was in
yeah.
it, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
believable.
Yeah,
yeah.
When
When he
I
was in
don't-
Covenant. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad actor, honestly.
he's a riot.
So Will Ferrell did
So-
seriously start Funny or Die?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't
He
aware
did.
of that. I thought they were playing up a joke
No,
for
that
the
wa-
movie,
yeah.
but he actually did
He
start.
was playing
it.
a character of himself,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
but no, he's. I
Okay.
don't think he was the sole proprietor of it,
No,
but he was.
but I didn't realize he
he's
was-
involved in the whole Funny or
Gotcha.
Die thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You read any books or comics?
Yeah, I
lately?
did,
Anything interesting?
I started the new Harley series from Black Label. It basically goes into her. I mean, she's not my favorite
No,
character.
I'm saying get on that mic.
Yeah, she's not my favorite character, but I wanted to check it out because it's Black Label.
Yeah.
And the first issue, it's very dry, it's very long, but it's because they're going to drag this out to 6 issues rather than the normal 3 or 4 for Black Label.
So-
because it's Harley, she'll sell books.
So when you get done reading
So-
all 6 of those, let me know if you think it's worth me picking the trade up. When
There
it
is
comes out.
a brand new one called Joker Harley that's different, and I haven't
Okay.
had a chance to read the first one of that yet.
Yeah.
And that's more of her being a forensic psychologist helping Gordon track down Joker before she ever becomes
You're so
Harley.
brave to buy Lucy's. Tell us about
Well, I only
So
buy
brave.
Lucy's for like some limited stuff or for like the Hulk stuff that I'm really into.
I've kind of taken his path.
Most of the
Trade.
stuff I
That's all
wait
I do.
for, I trade weight. I'll
Trade-
see.
is that what it's called? Trade weight?
Yeah, I'll see like a Lucy or two that I might realize I might be interested in, so I'll wait till it comes on trade,
Yeah.
or I'll pick up a couple variants for singlets that I want
just-
because the variants.
I like to buy trades and then just have Raul tell me that I'm not doing it right.
Well, Raul waits till Omnibus.
Well, no, I'm just kidding. Like the Batman, the Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah.
I posted a picture of that guy. He's
Yeah.
like, "You need to read the Dark Metal book first.
Yeah, Raul's more hardcore than I am. I
Dude.
think.
He definitely keeps his finger on the pulse of it all
Yeah.
a lot firmer, so to speak, than anyone I
Yeah,
know.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, but what is are you reading House of X or any of that?
No, I know of it because it's such a huge thing, but X-Men's too convoluted for me to be in on that.
Well, this is supposed to be like a
It's
starting
a
point.
It
Like
is.
a-
They say a lot of limited
They're
every time.
they're funneling resources.
Yeah.
Every time a limited series starts up, they're like, "This is the turning point." It never is. This is actually the turning
heard
point.
that
They're
the last
rearranging
3
every
years.
fucking thing from the past. Like,
Are
10
they
years.
doing like a reduction in workforce? Shatterstar, listen, we appreciate your efforts here. Here's a 6 months.
They're rearranging
6
all
months
the
salary.
teams.
Go back
But
wherever the fuck you're from.
I think it deals largely with the fact that they have the Fox properties now.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so like this is the one they really give a fuck about.
Yeah, so that's Jonathan Hickman was given free reign to do everything. All the X books got canceled, and this is the reboot point.
How
and
many
they're
times
they're
have they
restarting
done it?
all the new. There's going to be 4 to 6 new X titles coming with the rearranged teams after this whole crossover
Then you
event
can
is
just do
done.
2 X books.
And Wolverine will be in every one,
And that's fine.
Of course.
of course.
That's fine.
Oh yeah. Also,
I've heard a lot of interesting stuff about it, so I might read it in a trade format
Yeah.
later.
For sure.
What were you saying, Dante?
So also part of my nerd, I read The Boys.
Oh yeah,
all of it.
Not all. The
Not
first,
episode 8.
First 7 volumes.
the first omnibus.
okay.
Well,
I haven't reread
Well,
it yet.
yeah. I only read I read like about 20 pages. So. Then I loaned it to my coach. I was like, "Hey, dude, why don't you go ahead and read this and let me know what you think?" So
That's funny.
I managed to pick up and read the first Constructicons miniseries from Transformers, and that's a lot. From what I've heard, that's a lot better than the regular Siege line series. And
Did
that's
you see the picture of Devastator I posted today? Look, I got a new
yeah,
I got
that
a new
is
Devastator.
hilarious.
Love it. I found it in. Yeah.
It's not green, dude.
No, it's the
yellow
It's
variant.
G2.
G2 dog. Don't discriminate. You think Tonka makes green construction?
And the first issue is actually really good. I think it's well thought out. So I'll be
Yeah.
interested to see. I don't know how many issues it's supposed to run.
Who's writing the book?
It's somebody who's crap. I can't remember now. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, but is it somebody from the history of the books?
I
or-
believe so.
Yeah. Those one-shot Transformers books or those miniseries are always interesting to me. It's like, do we really want to dig into the deep, dark recesses of Bone Crusher's
Well,
mind
it's interesting because it's
They were,
using.
some of them are really good though. like
It's
the Spotlight
interesting
ones.
because it's basically they're on a satellite moon from off Cybertron. And they're working on something. They've lost the ability to combine. You figure out in the first series, and they go back to when they first found the Enigma after it had been buried, and first gained their combination. They do flashbacks and them trying to struggle with having a unified mind when they're supposed to be Devastator.
Wait, I thought
Is-
that universe is done.
Is Omega Supreme there?
No,
Are they
it hasn't been
are they
mentioned
trying
yet.
to trick him?
No,
Wait, I thought
It-
I thought that was a reboot in Transformers.
Yeah, I mean,
So is this part of the reboot line? Or
yeah, it is. It's
okay.
supposedly
But
part
the
of the
Enigma
reboot
is
line.
still there.
Yeah, the Enigma combination is still there.
That's fucking dumb.
It
That's why I
gave
stopped reading.
it gave it some new history of it being alluded to that the original use of the Enigma was for they don't name him Abominus, but it's obviously the Terracons who went mad when they combined and were a destructive force that nobody could control.
But that was the same shit
then
that happened in the last
Yeah.
universe.
So I don't know if it's how much of a reboot this actually is.
To be fair, I feel like most of the time with Transformers comics, when they relaunch, they just end up getting back to the same point. You know what I mean? Like it's like the same.
But,
shit.
but
Like-
IDW stuff was like different. Like when they
Agreed. No, but not at first. Like at first, it was supposed to be different, but then it kind of started falling into the tropes of just G1, and then Roberts got a hold of it. I feel like, and then took it in a new direction. But I feel like oftentimes it's like Marvel's Ultimates shit, right? Like they just like, look, it's gonna be all new.
Oh
And
yeah.
then like
I
within
know.
2 years, it's like identical.
How long before Rebirth is that for DC?
Yeah.
Though I have a Transformers related question. For,
Alright.
I know three of us at least will be at TFCon this year. Do you think that the audience will be different at this show because that IDW book that certain niche audience was crazy about is over, or do you think
I
they're
don't know
still-
because I'd have to look at the
fanning?
guest list and see if like Milne and Roberts are going to be there. Because
Yeah, Milne's going to be there.
oftentimes they're
Okay,
there.
they'll
and-
be there for that.
and that packs them in.
Gotcha. That just curious.
They'll be at the draw, I think.
Cody says hi. He just texted me.
Yeah.
Is he here that early? He's waiting at BWI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, where are you?
A week and a half early.
When does he get here?
The
Friday.
23rd?
Okay.
Friday. He gets here. I got to pick him up.
Not this Friday, right? Next Friday.
Yeah, no, this Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
this
going to be at
Friday.
Baltimore Comic Con, man.
Yeah,
Fuck.
because it's next Wednesday.
That's my calendar.
Tell him he's got to come to BCC as the Burger King.
Well, he is coming to BCC. But I don't know.
Dressed up as
I
the
don't know if
king.
he's coming as Burger King.
What else, Phil?
If anything.
There was something else, and I can't remember. I might have to just
Come back.
shout it out. Yeah.
Chris?
So, I watched a movie. I remember when this came out. I wanted to watch it, and I forgot about it. It was one of those movies that comes out, and you're like, "Oh, it looks really cool." And then, like 6 months later, you're like, "Whatever." It's called Welcome to Marwen. So it's
I've
it's
seen the
got,
trailer
It's
for
got
that,
Steve
yeah.
Carell as the lead. It's based on a true story. This guy was some sort of illustrator. Apparently, he said something at a bar that these guys.
Is that
took it-
fucking pumpkin spice?
No. You wish it. You
It
wish
smells different.
You wish I was that white.
It smells festive.
So it is
I'm
different.
sorry,
It-
Chris.
no,
He
no,
just
that's
vaped
not-
and it just
that's not funnel
It just
cake?
hit me.
It is different. I'll tell you why it's different.
That's,
I
and
was-
it's
I
kind
was-
of weird. I've noticed a
gonna get
difference.
It goes assholes at the
guess who-
vape shop give you the wrong
guess
thing,
who
right?
else noticed?
Who?
Laura.
See?
Of course, she
me,
would.
me and Laura.
Yep.
That's how close we are.
Exactly. Hold on now. But I think
gonna
it's
happen.
stupid
You
about
guys
just
are
being
close.
around it all the time, right? So I was at work and I was running low and I borrowed some from another guy, so to speak. And
I'm not sure that's okay.
and it was a different. It was like a berry thing. I don't usually do the fruity flavors. I do the sweet flavors. You know what I mean?
So to speak.
So to speak. So he gave me that. So it's a little bit of a blend going on up in there. So it is a bit
So
different.
it's berry
Sharp
on
nose
funnel
mac.
cake?
Huh?
Berry on funnel
No,
cake?
I stopped the funnel cake a long time ago. I want that Wu-Tang now.
It's funny because you don't have a sweet tooth, but you go for the sweet vapes.
It's true. That's true. That's true. I'm much more of like a sandwich pizza guy than I am like a.
Do they do a pizza vape?
Dude, no. You see,
That would be like the nasty scratch and sniff turtle stickers.
No,
that
it's like
exactly.
back in the
It would
day.
be like
Gross.
that, or like
That's
the
when-
combos. Or,
When
you know
Willy
what I mean?
Wonka gets involved.
I like pizza combos.
Yeah,
They don't
I mean,
taste like pizza exactly.
Exactly.
It tastes
That's
like
what
tomato
I'm
sauce.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And what the fuck does grape jelly taste like? Because it don't taste like grapes.
It tastes like grape jelly.
It tastes like
Yes.
Grape
It tastes like
Jolly
itself.
Ranchers.
That's true.
So
That's
this
a good
movie,
point.
Welcome to Marwin.
Yes.
It's about guy gets beat up outside of a bar. He says something. They take that he's gay, and they basically it's a hate crime.
Ugh.
Although he's not. He just likes wearing women's shoes. Anyways, so he gets literally his memories beat out of his head. He can't remember who he is. He doesn't remember. So he starts buying these 12-inch military figures and creates this world in his yard and takes pictures of it.
Yeah, that came out around Christmas time, I think, last year, and I was like, I should see that.
remember
eventually.
just trying.
Yeah,
You're right. It's one of those movies.
It's not great.
Oh.
No, I was
the
I was
concept seems great.
I was
Yeah.
expecting him to get
Disappointed.
like a nominated for
Is
that.
it on
movie.
Netflix?
No, I couldn't. It's not
I
available.
think it's
to
on
stream.
HBO.
It may-
I
yeah.
was
Oh,
flipping,
okay.
I think I saw
Yeah.
it.
It wasn't
there.
good, huh? Oh,
I didn't
Man,
like-
I
I mean,
expected a performance out of
yeah,
him from that. It seemed very interesting story writing
I mean, so they do a lot of the scenes where
because
the
it goes
figures come to
inside
life.
his world where the
A lot of like nerd culture stuff picked up on it, and you know what I mean. Like we're pushing it for a while.
But no, then nobody talked about it. I don't know
Right.
anybody else I haven't talked to anybody that's seen it. So it's a very odd.
I mean, you haven't talked to anyone that remembered it.
Right.
anyways, watch that. I watch a ton of sitcoms, and it's sitcom season. So
This coffee is much better. The other day was not good.
No.
No,
what he's saying
fine.
is stop buying store brand. That's what he's
Well,
saying.
so
Like, Monday, I guess Monday it was like.
Is that the Death Wish?
I don't know. So
But this is
so-
good.
So Laura bought some like medley, like it's like a combo box. Like it had like 4 or 5 different types of cups in it. So
Pizza
I
combo?
wish I'd have made a mental note as to which one this one was and which one the other one was, so I could. But I have no fucking clue, unfortunately.
Doesn't it feel like I live here commenting on the smells and the coffees and shit?
Joe, just go back in your house in the wall.
That's all
You
you
don't have to
gotta
go down
man.
the street.
That's all you got to do.
And not to cut you off, and I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh, listen. Let's just go ahead and do the whole plate of caviar. Here.
But I'll tell you what she's been doing recently, smells wise. I'm not a big smell person, like,
Aromatherapy.
but it's been bothering me. Is she's been using those like Clorox things or whatever you put in the toilet to like it washes it on like on every flush. But
Yeah.
the chemical smell of it is bothering me, and I'm
Is it turning the water blue and stuff, right?
it's not
We
So-
have those right now, and I don't like the
I'll
blue.
tell you, like, I don't mind, like, and I'm not the anti-chemical guy. Like, I love spraying some shit down and wiping it off and coming in and smelling that chemically clean smell.
pledge smell.
Yes. I love it. But this shit,
not it.
it's like, I'm like, every time I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, it smells like a fucking pool bathroom.
Does it burn your throat? Like
It's like
It's just
porta
like,
potty,
it's
a
like
clean porta potty.
It's like it smells clean and also dirty at the same time.
Porta potty.
Yeah.
So I've got a
A
weird
bus bathroom.
I've got a weird thing. So you mentioned the Piggly Wiggly earlier in a comical fashion. I raised 4 kids off the money I made the Piggly Wiggly. Just kidding.
Damn.
They weren't my
Somebody
kids.
probably did.
No. Well, I mean,
Somebody's doing it right now.
nonetheless.
Shout out to that guy.
Nonetheless, I climbed the corporate ladder from bag boy to stalker at a certain point.
I've been there.
And I always hated stocking the detergent aisle, like the aisle with all those. So, like, because my throat always hurt, and it was because I'm moving these boxes like the powdered detergent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it gets
then
in the air,
bleach.
you can't avoid
so
it.
to this day, I don't like walking down that aisle because I'll get a whiff of it, and it's like
memory.
my throat burns.
There's still like the powder detergent. I didn't even know that.
No, just in general, it's just a mental thing. Powder. I mean, hang on. Before I finish, does anybody use powder detergent?
No.
Powder
I
detergent
don't know
is
if-
trash.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
like the
use
same
it
kind
now.
of person who would buy CDs would use.
Oh, my
Right,
God.
Oh.
exactly. I know somebody that'll buy those. From me.
I know another guy gets these.
I like CDs.
I mean, I don't. Hopefully, you didn't think that guy was like robbing you for anything. You know,
I know another guy that gets
round
these.
and round. So,
I
yeah,
feel old as fuck.
I watch a bunch of TV shows. I watch.
Your sitcoms. We were
Co-
having a little
comedies,
laugh about how you like
sitcoms.
sitcoms.
I do like to. So, Fresh Off the Boat.
That's my people, isn't it?
It's
How is it? Is it my people representing?
okay. That's one of those shows that comes on and nobody says anything about, and then it goes off for the year, and then the new shows come on, and it's like, oh shit, they're making another season. Because I don't keep up with the Inside Out, so I watch that. I watch Modern Family. I watch Blackish.
Modern Family's still around?
Last season of Modern Family this year.
Oh wow.
I watch Blackish. There's a spin-off.
There's a lot of ethnic shows you're watching.
Well, hey,
He tries to be well-rounded.
there's a show called Mixed-ish, which is a spin-off of Blackish. And hey, no, this ties into some of the stuff you were saying. So,
I mean, Dante
so
would
the
know about that.
the character in is
Sophie knows about that. I don't know shit about that.
has anybody ever seen Blackish before? Do you know the cast?
I've seen
you know it's-
clips of it. I've seen
so you
clips
know
of it.
it's
Anthony Anderson, Lawrence Fishburne, right?
yeah, and I can't think of Diana Ross's daughter, whose name eludes me at the moment. Tracy Ellis Ross. So she's the wife / mother, and the spinoff Mixed-ish and she's mixed is about her being mixed, and like they lived on like a compound commune kind of place until
That's
she was in
awesome.
middle school, and then she came to school, and it's like, you know, they've never really taught their kids about race or anything. So it comes to the you know, where to sit at lunch. You sit with the black kids, you sit with the white kids. Where do you sit? Like her brother decided he was going to sit with the black kids. Sister decided she was going to sit with the white kids, and she's like sitting by herself. So just a very interesting dynamic. Then there was an episode about it was about black hair, which I know is a whole world, right? It's a whole world.
Dante's pointing upstairs.
So saying that she had natural hair, you know, it's curly hair, and her teacher, white teacher, looked at her specifically, said, you need to make sure your hair's neat tomorrow for
What?
for school pictures. So
Whoa.
here comes mom and dad. Now, mom, I don't know the actress's name, but the dad, who is played by Beau Bridges in the modern world. Actually, I think he died. Anyways, in this throwback, he's played by none other than Mark Paul Gosselaar, aka Zach Morris. So they're in the teacher's classroom. How dare you? This, that, and the other. You know, well, I didn't mean anything by it. Blah blah blah. And the school bell rings, and Zach Morris looks right at her and says, "Saved by the Bell."
No way.
And he walks out, and I told Kelly, I was like, if AC Slater had known this fucking show at some point, they're missing out. I like Bob's Burgers. I think Bob's Burgers.
Oh, that's not
Bob-
sitcom.
Bob's
That's
Burgers
cartoons.
is
I don't
solid
count
show.
cartoons as sitcoms.
Same.
They
But
count.
I feel
I like
like
cartoons.
if you watch sitcoms, you have a chair that you watch them in, and you also have like a little tray that you keep like your remote on, and also a bowl of either popcorn or nuts.
I mean, you've been to my house. You know, there's that one spot on the couch that's a little lower than the rest. There's one called Superstore that's about like this Walmart
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
supposed to be
vibe.
like a Walmart Costco. Right?
That's really funny that I like. I mean, it's one of those ones like, oh shit, oh they made another season. How the fuck did that happen? And of course the Goldbergs. I think a lot of people watch the Goldbergs.
I saw the first season.
Is that also
I
ethnic?
kept up
I've
with
seen
it.
all of them. It's so yeah. And
Let's
there's more.
slide.
Oh, a live PD. I like watching live PD.
Is
So
that
it's
like a derivative
Cops,
of
you mean?
Cops?
No,
funny. So it's basically cops, but it's like they have like 8.
Reno 911.
they do some in Maryland. They do some in Maryland.
Right. So
Oh,
they
really?
have.
Oh,
Like,
so it's
they-
legit.
It's legit.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
it comes
Yes.
on. It's a big deal. It comes on twice a week, and it comes on live Friday and Saturday nights. And it's literally they've got a cameraman with 8 different law enforcement agencies, and the guys have their body cams on and everything. So I was watching it. I think it's Friday night, and the officer was at a like a gas station parking lot, and I don't remember what he was doing. But in the background, you hear "Bad boys, what you gonna do?" And we're like, some motherfuckers playing the song. After that, NWA "Fuck the Police" comes on. I mean, and they're trying to bleep it out in the background. It isn't, of course, it's it's a time delay of some kind. It's live-ish. But then after the cop goes up, and it's some white kid in a jacked up pickup truck, but I guess he knew him. So he's like, "Man, I saw you on TV. I thought that'd be hilarious." And the cop
This was in like Western Maryland.
No. This was no. I think this was
barrel.
I think this was in
Southern. It's like-
Missouri. I think.
Okay.
But anyways, I just thought that was funny. But
Sounds
it's
about
an
the same.
interesting show. You see some crazy shit. I mean, you see
I mean,
shootings.
it's
and-
sitcoms. It sounds like cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the whole gimmick's is live. They do a rescue one now.
Rescue 911.
Yeah, and
I
then,
watched all that shit when I was
Yeah,
a
I
kid.
did too.
It's
And
all
then-
coming back, but like updated.
and then
did
they've
too.
got a show that basically
you would.
they take body cam.
You had to, right?
Probably.
They take body cam footage and they just have that officer there and they talk through whatever the situation was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's Friday night when
Yeah.
you're a kid, when you can't go out, you're ground or whatever. And cops,
Does
American Most Wanted,
America's,
Rescue
I was asking,
911.
does that show? Did that show end finally? America's Most Wanted because it went on forever.
I don't know.
Nobody up on it. What was the guy's name that hosted? Anybody? remember?
Walsh.
His son was Adam Walsh. I know
Yeah,
that,
that's
that
why
shit
there's
scared
that's
me.
why there's an Adam
Like,
alert.
seeing that
signs
story
everywhere.
about him getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never getting away from my mom, and then I got put in foster care.
Oh, dude, that's rough.
Fucking weird.
That's rough.
Dude, they never found his
Who
son,
brought the
right?
fucking
No, he
fun
did.
police?
Oh, he did
I thought they found him dead.
I don't remember.
Okay, I thought he like.
Oh, the kid? Yeah, they found his head in like a car.
yeah,
and,
it's
like,
like-
body
it was fucked up,
somewhere
bro. It was
else.
fucked up.
That's fucked up.
Yeesh.
All right, Bobby, your turn.
So something weird happened this past week that I do want to talk about, which I don't understand quite yet. I did an MP Bumblebee review.
Oh my god, that thing was.
Holy
Oh
crap.
yeah, that's
Hilarious.
right. That
I
was
like
pretty good.
the way it came. Like I saw in your hands, it came with like extra yellow paint
Yep.
that you could just apply as you
Yeah,
wanted to.
yeah,
The
yeah.
backpack was crazy.
It is crazy.
The feet is crazy.
The feet are crazy also. And apparently I didn't have the backpack 100% right, but I had it pretty close.
I mean, you said that.
I don't
It's like I'm not sure if
think
this
you-
is it, but I think this
I don't
is
know
it.
if you could have that backpack.
yeah,
100% right.
the backpack when it's 100% right is not 100% right. You know, like,
Exactly.
so. But something weird started happening in the comments that I don't understand. But people started commenting a lot. Hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I kind of scrolled through them.
And I have no clue why. Like,
I mean,
What's the
is it
tie-in?
just the whole comment is that?
Yep.
And, or is there anything?
yep. And then someone also did it on my Instagram post about it.
Wow.
And I don't know why. Like, I don't know
I don't know what the connection.
how
is.
that, what the connection is or how that got started, or I just don't know.
That's random.
It's random and it's bizarre, you know, and it seems
The internet's a bizarre place.
that's a fact. But it
Maybe you
sets,
get more hits though.
it sets my maybe.
Yeah, I used to hashtag Bill Cosby on shit.
See, there you go, Bobby. Motherfuckers like him.
No, I mean my own post. 'Cause I was like,
I
Not
did
other people's
traffic.
posts. Oh,
I do love that the guy put hashtag. Actually, he put hashtag back. Oh, it's Back Lives Matter, not black. Look, back BACK.
so it's just Bobby's
It's just Bobby's poor interpretation of his
Literacy.
comments.
literacy.
I looked at it.
That makes
3
so much more
times.
sense.
I looked at it 3 times
Back
before I
Lives-
saw it.
That is
That makes
crazy.
that makes sense
Now,
now.
let's
That
check,
makes
let's check
sense
these
then.
YouTube
Okay.
comments now and see.
That
Reading
makes a
comprehension.
ton- Yeah.
Resource room.
Resource room. But like you just
Yeah,
see it,
how
and, like
it
your
counter
brain just tells you
education.
that this is what it is.
And you bring it up. Now you got the answer. That's why you had to bring it up.
good. So but I was just like, man, this what the fuck? Like, how did this happen? You know?
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. So, because I actually Robert told me, and I wonder if Robert was saying it. I should call him, but he was telling me that. But now I want to go back and read the text and see if he was saying
The same thing.
the same
or if he was
thing. Or if
messing
he
it
was
up
saying
too, yeah.
if he was messing it up as well. Because I started worrying that all of a sudden it was being like some racist shit was starting to go on in the comments that I would have to go through and like start kicking people off and blocking people, whatever the case may be.
By the way, Bobby Skullface has T-shirts available if you didn't know.
It's facts.
So that's Nerd Rage Radio.
There's
right?
actually a nerd.
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
nerd rage
I,
shirt.
I think 2 Nerd Rage shirts have sold. I think 2 or 3.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. But anyway, it was just like, I'll tell you what, that 4 Dummies shirt is fucking hard. Like the fan price bro one. Like that's a cool shirt.
I need
period.
I need $1 on every one of those.
Yeah, I bought one. I bought one for myself. So anyway, it was just like that. It was. It made me paranoid that I was
I
like,
could see that
yeah.
definitely.
So yeah, that makes me feel a lot better. Thank you. Yeah, it was just so crazy, you know.
That was an easy.
would be crazy
That
if
was an
that's
easy
what
fix.
Right.
Did you know you've done 1,400 YouTube videos?
Sounds about
Jesus
right.
Christ.
I feel like it.
This kid kind of
Slow
looks
down
like
a
it
bit.
today.
I mean, his eyes still have dark festers from
So, yeah,
dark
we'll
circles
get
from Uncle
there, we'll
Fester.
get there.
Yeah, the Halloween party was fantastic. That's the
get
other
there.
thing.
So let's see. I watched. Did I tell you guys I watched a movie called Snow Angels?
What
no.
the heck is that?
It's fucked. It's a drama, like a heavy drama, and I'll tell you, like, there's all sorts of stuff. There's children's death that's covered in it. There's homicide, there's suicide, there's all the negative things in the world are in this film called Snow Angels.
Nice.
But I'll tell you what fucks with me the most, and you might, Dante as well, you as well probably, like we've all three. How long have you and Kelly been together?
14 years.
Okay, so that's a long time.
God damn, it is.
Yeah, being with my wife.
Love you, babe. I don't know.
I've been together with 11 years. It doesn't seem that long.
It's the longest marriage I've ever had.
The longest marriage.
He's not wrong. Chris seems to have lost count as to his
quote unquote marriage in Alabama is kind of a great.
But one of the things that I found, even with children's death and homicide, suicide, all these things that take place in this film, one of the things that I found most disturbing watching it is the idea of just a woman falling out of love. Like there's no, it was fucking with me. Like watching it, because like there's no. Now this guy was an alcoholic and had all sorts of fucking problems. Was fucking being verbally abusive and all sorts of shit. So he wrote his ticket, right?
Yeah.
And I think that generally speaking, if you're not a fucking terrible human being, women don't tend to fall out of love. Like women are in it for the long haul usually. But that concept is just terrifying to me, that like you could wake up with this person that you've been with your whole life and they could say, that was it. Whatever happened yesterday, that was it. And then when you look at them and you're trying to piece it together or whatever, there's no fixing that.
No, like, it's a feeling. You can't fix the feeling.
Once that's gone, it's gone. And that position that it's like a helpless position that you would find yourself in.
I never talk about this. But I was married prior to my current wife, and it was some fucked up shit around what exactly you're saying.
Yeah,
so I've been through that. I mean, we were married like. It's funny because I literally don't remember that. I've blacked out this entire portion of my other than having a child out of it.
Right,
it's a lot of blank spaces there, and I don't have pictures. I gutted it. But there's some dark shit there, man. I mean, it fell apart and.
Scary.
Emotions can be fickle, man. You got to work on that shit. I mean, if you've had prior relationships, you already know the feeling. Just think about an ex that you had that you were in love with. Like, you don't have the feeling anymore. It's just gone.
Yeah, but like, my thing is like, I've been in this relationship for so long. Mm-hmm. The world. I mean, that makes it sound old, but like the world has changed so much. Like, I wouldn't even know what to do. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like I like if I was to get back into the game, right?
Oh, I have a story about that actually. not well. I could tie something that
I guess I would start online dating.
So
like
I think that's the norm.
So a guy I worked with in Memphis, I still talk to every month or so. Just hey, how you doing? Getting divorced. He'd been talking about it forever. His wife's she's an assistant principal alcoholic. I don't know what order you put those things, but finally said it's over with, and he said he's just a Tinder is killing it. He said he's got any night of the week. He just makes a phone call.
Yeah, I wouldn't looking for something real.
Oh, looking for something substantial,
right?
I don't think I would be looking at all.
No, I think I would. Like, I think I would. Like,
you need that.
I need that.
You need that support. And I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I don't know where Wood is here, but I don't know if you're ever going to find another one of those.
No, hell no.
Fuck no.
Hell
no.
I'd say the same thing about mine. I mean, it's just, I think
hell
we all say
no.
that, really.
I mean, if you've been in a relationship for like 10 plus years and you're happy, like, you're not going to find that again because you're not going to live that long anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And like, I just, I think about that. Like, where is that, what does a young person do today to like,
well, we wouldn't be young people doing it. We'll be people our age doing it. But there's a different game.
There's a ton of 40-year-old single people out there, kids or not, and different, whether they've been married or not married, or
most likely have been, and most likely have kids.
breeded on the side of the interstate.
I have a friend.
That's a tagline right there. Looking for some side of the road breeding.
I got one friend that he'll be 40 in December. Like he broke up, like he and his girlfriend broke up a long time ago, and it's like since that breakup, he's been kind of playing that game. Mm-hmm. It's like he's got kind of a shitty attitude about it to some degree, but even Teresa, they both kind of have the same shitty attitude about it. in the sense where it's like I know with the guy, he's like, you know, well, I'm just not attracted to like women in our age bracket because you know they look old, but he likes to go out to the bars and stuff. When we worked at a job previously, we all used to go out as a staff to the bar, and one of the girls like took a liking to him. They never became anything, but he got so wrapped up and wanted to always go out to the bar, trying to catch that,
relive that chase the dragon.
And in that now he'll text me just random like Friday night. Hey, you doing anything tonight? You want to go out to Fed Hill? You want to go out to Fed Hill? Like, no, I'm at home with my family.
I'm married. I can't
Like,
do that.
loser.
Shit no more.
Like I established this shit years ago, and here's you know what grew from it. And you know that's not knocking him. And Teresa does kind of the same thing though too. It's like she wants to go out and like this is kind of fucked up to say, and I may have told you this before. What I've said to her in this matter, working at her job, you know the younger guys are attracted to her, and I explained to her in nicer terms than what I'm about to say.
Hey, yo, bitch!
Like basically, I broke it down to her like, look, if you're at a bar and Margot Robbie's at the bar, Margot Robbie's that unattainable object.
Oh boy.
Well, that's all like the prettiest girl don't get asked to prom, right? That's the whole
Exactly.
thing.
And I told her like, basically no one's going for that 10, but everybody's going for that 6. Speaking of which, she just
six is still a C plus in my book.
Can I see a picture of this 6?
Yeah,
I'm
who
just
is
curious.
this 6?
Show me a picture.
Was she?
That shit is so fucked up.
No, but
She was one.
I
Of
know what you're saying.
She was one of the people you used to work with.
no. Like she grew up with us too.
You know this person too?
Oh, okay.
Let me see a picture. I want to see this.
Yeah,
person.
I'm curious.
Even know
Yeah.
if I
She's got to be on
have a
social
picture
media.
of her.
You know, she-
Are we going to post this on Facebook? You guys, everybody rate. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a new segment here.
So let me continue on. I watched your documentary.
You did.
Not the privileged one. That's still
Okay.
But I watched the Bill Gates one.
Did you watch all 3?
Oh, there's 3 of them.
There's 3 episodes.
Oh fuck! No, I
So
just
you watched
watched
the first one. Was that about the
toilets.
The toilets.
Yeah, I watched that
Fucking
one.
fascinating.
Yeah. No, it was
You guys
interesting.
incredible.
Yeah, I watched. Well, it was funny because like they're like the people talking about him. They're like he often paces. Like there was
I
a
do
lot.
that.
So I do a lot of the shit. And Laura kept saying like it sounds like you. And I was like, look, hold on. I paused it. I was like, do you see that shot right there where the dude is working on a formula that looks like a paragraph from a novel? Never say anything about me and him are the same ever again. We're not the same.
You know who that? And I might have said this last week. But you know who that dude reminds me of super hard? He's my dad.
Oh yeah, you did
my
say that.
dad is like-
You did say that. So I started watching Dope. Also,
Okay.
ironically, I'd already watched the first season.
Is that where the Baltimore one was?
I'm guessing because I was scanning
Okay.
through and looking for the Baltimore one,
Yeah.
and I didn't see it in my ones without the red stripe at the bottom. That's how you know you see it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. That masterpiece thing. I was off work last week. I got a ton of work done. Like I got.
only picture that's not fucking filtered. All her pictures are like.
Of course it's
Snapchat
filtered.
pictures.
So I got like 3 weeks worth of sit down Saturday done.
Oh, I listened to the fucking licensing one. It's super interesting.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
mean, like I know it was going to be dry, but I thought it was something interesting, like something
No, I don't-
different.
Yeah. It's informational. Like,
Right.
What the fuck do you want?
Right.
Yeah, she's got a big ego.
But so I did a lot of like I got a lot of work done. Like I got reviews pretty much done from now through November.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'm pretty
So are
much.
you going to pepper in like new third-party releases as they come?
if something pops
Like
up that's
Jabber
huge,
comes out,
yes,
you'll do
exactly.
that
Then
one,
I'll have to swap one out for another. But
Easy
and
enough.
I have a couple little strategic holes put in there. But pretty much I have a video for every day from now until November 3rd.
Crazy.
Damn, dude, you're a maniac.
But I got all this done during this week because I knew there was Halloween party, Baltimore,
yeah.
TF Con, like boom, 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 and I knew it was going to be hectic. I'm going to have Cody with me, so like I was like, I'm gonna fucking grind right now, and then but now I'm like coasting.
Yeah, you,
for like
got,
a whole-
you
know,
guys are like ready for
for like a
everything,
3
right?
week, yeah. And I got all the merchandise and shit is ready for like I'm more prepared this year than I have been in years for all of it. I'm in a good spot.
You got some cool new stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited for everybody to see your
Have
new
you
stuff.
started shooting your video yet?
I haven't. So that's one where I'm behind.
Are you going to be shooting anything for BCC or TFCon?
I doubt it. I might shoot some stuff at BCC just to shoot it, and I might shoot some stuff at TFCon just to shoot it.
Some B-roll for.
But
I mean, when you're out there anyway, traveling that far, there's stuff, locations that you won't normally get.
So that locations and kind of like, I wanted to talk to you about a possible location, but just remind me to do it at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, I got a couple ideas, and there's like Maryland has some weird places for those that don't know. So I was actually thinking, I was like, man, if I organize like with my family, do the family time, like like we'll go on a hike, but we'll hike to this one specific location to like get a shot.
Oh, whatchamacallit, the Blair Witch is there.
Yeah, a lot of shit, a lot of like ruins, and so that's what I'm thinking about.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I thought it'd be all right. And then the Halloween party. You were asked about more times than I could mention.
I mean,
I didn't ask about you, but I knew you weren't there, and I was curious.
There was a lot of people like, where's Joe? Where's Joe? Where's Joe?
Who even knows me other than the people at this table?
Dude, there were people there that you wouldn't expect knew who you were and your costumes from Facebook and stuff, and was like, "Where is
you're a national treasure?"
People that have not met you,
international.
That were
that's true. Sorry, international.
That were hoping to have met you. That what I mean. It was
waiting to see
you were asked
awesome
about
costumes
often.
you had,
I looked over here on my way up to bed. I picked up my stairwell window. I was like, oh, the lights are on. Still partying. All right, good night. I said that out loud. I was like, good night. And I closed the curtain and I went up to sleep.
Dude,
So-
that'd be a perfect shot to put in the video.
I was
Joe.
not in this year's video.
Do it as like a after credit.
I was
Good night.
I took shots, which I haven't done in years, and I'm paying for it today a little bit.
So Uncle Fester's still got the circles.
I was off the rails last night. I drank. I brought. Well, I didn't want to mention this. I'm glad I don't drink heavy because that shit's it's expensive. Like I bought a decent bottle of Jameson. I bought some
You had a lot of White Claw.
some Blackberry. Funny story about White Claw. So I'm in the Mount Airy liquor store right there by GameStop, and I knew I wanted to get a bottle.
store.
It is a good liquor store. I get a bottle of Jameson, and I wanted a White Claw variety pack. I didn't see it. Anywhere. So I called my buddy. I was like, "Hey, I'm having a white. I'm having a white. No, I called my buddy. I'm like, I'm having a White Claw emergency. He lives in Maine.
White Claw.
Hang on. He lives.
That's the title.
That is hashtag White Claw emergency.
Hey,
Dude, that is gold.
just as a quick reminder, there's no laws when you're drinking them claws. So I called my buddy. He lives in Maine, so it's okay. I said, "Hey, what have you tried any of these other brands?" And he recommended something. I'm like, I just don't want to get it because some of them taste like super like artificial sweetener. So I'll go up to the counter with my bottle of Jameson, and I said, "Hey, I have to lay all my cards on the table here." And I looked around and said, "I'm having a White Claw emergency." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I need a variety pack, and you don't have any." He said, "Well, let me go to the back," and he pulled me a case out of the back. So I'm like, "That's a VIP service I expect here at Mount Airy." He never let me go without my spikes.
Shout out.
But I will tell you, I brought that bottle, and people were asking to do shots, and who am I to turn that down? And then I got into it myself pretty heavy. So I think I had either 8 or 10 shots of Jameson.
Jesus, damn, dude.
Plus, I mean, the White Claws mixed in there. I'm on that Jameson and
So
White
you were-
Claw.
He's definitely a good
You were
toilet paper.
deeper than at Crab Fest. Crab Fest, you were pretty loose.
Yeah, you were loose at Crab Fest too,
But
but
this, you were deep.
and you were saying that Laura was cutting loose. I didn't really get to see Laura at all.
So it was right at the end. She was just
Yeah,
she was a lot
Laura-
looser than she normally.
Laura was pretty loose.
She got
She
yeah.
was-
she can be, but like people don't know because she's usually such like has her shit together. Like
Yeah.
you
I'm
know,
used
like,
to seeing
she's
her
Like,
when
she's like a
she's-
lady. You know what I mean? Like she's like has her all of her P's and all the I's are
Right.
dotted, the T's
Yeah.
are crossed, et cetera. She's the host, the most,
Yeah,
like that kind of thing. But people don't know she's funny as shit when
Yeah, she was
decides.
fun. Like, I was surprised,
when she
like,
decides to cut the
Yeah.
fucking puppet strings loose on her.
Puppet.
I'm a put your tongue to mine. She's funny, man. Like, yeah, and it was cool. Like looking, I gotta do the photo albums. We put like the photo albums from the first 3 years of Halloween Party.
That
It's
was
like,
cool. I had not seen those before.
Yeah, we just put them out on the table for like people to look through a little bit of history of it, and like seeing some of the pictures, and a lot of people that aren't alive anymore, and
Yeah,
I
some
mean,
good
like,
shots in there.
you know, it was some funny memory lane stuff to see. So I got to tell this one last story before we get into some news. It's sensitive, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that out of the way and on Front Street. So my girls are playing basketball, right? Which is a whole thing in and of
Which
itself.
one?
Selena and Jana
they're both
are
at the
are
same time?
time?
The same team?
No.
Okay, I didn't know
No.
Selena had started.
Yeah, Selena's playing now too.
Actually playing?
He probably
Don't
plays
get
the
me
way,
started, dude.
He probably plays the way Charlie plays soccer.
Dude, the other just real side note. She was playing and she was standing underneath the basket, playing with her shirt with her two hands. Like the ball almost hit her in the head because she wasn't watching it. And I was like, don't ever touch your shirt again for today. Don't ever touch your shirt
Out
again
loud. This is
today.
out loud in
I
public.
was like, get in this game or get off the fucking court. God, man, it drives me nuts. Like, I don't like, and I told her, I was like, look, on the car ride home, I was like, look, I don't care if you don't make any baskets. I don't care if you don't ever have a successful pass. I don't care if you ever don't make a successful catch. I don't care if you ever, I don't care about any of that. I just want you to play. If you're not paying attention and you just seem like you don't want to be there, all I can think about is how you asked to do this. We suggested to put you like in sort of a practice like skills learning thing where you just go and you practice, you learn the kind of the principles of the game and said, no, you wanted to play. And now I've spent the money, so you're going to fucking play. And it's not even about the money, but it's just that
The
if we're
effort
going to do anything, we're going to do it.
Yep.
Well, you know, I'm having the exact same conversation with. So Charlie wanted to play soccer, and he's on the soccer team. And listen, I remembered 6-year-old soccer because Mason played, and it's just this gaggle of children that
Yes.
are. I mean, it's like a swarm of bees, right? But it's the same thing, not paying attention. And I told Charlie, I said, "There's two things I need you to do. I need you to listen to your coach, and I need you to hustle. That's all you need to do."
Yeah, just try.
But it's like all these kids, they're afraid of the ball. They're afraid to kick. They're afraid to hurt anybody else. I said, me and Kelly told Charlie, it's like, look,
Sophie
you're the biggest one out there, like size.
Is he the biggest
No,
size?
he's probably the second biggest. But there's a lot of like beanpole kids. Like,
Oh, man.
what do you
Knock him over like bowling
That's what I
pins,
said.
man.
Just run through them.
Bam!
Listen, if they don't have the ball, they're not going to call it. There's only one referee. He can't see everything. listen.
Charlie's gonna go out there and start murking kids.
Listen. Start standing on their foot when you're doing a corner kick. It's going to fuck their whole game up.
So Jana's playing.
Yep.
And
I can show them some dirty basketball tricks.
to any Nerd Rage listener, you know that there's this one kid on Jana's team that is quite good,
Yes.
and his
Has a buzz now after you moved
yeah,
that.
I know it's been there for a minute. I've
Oh,
been
is it?
trying to trying to mess with it.
There it goes.
Does that?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that turns
everybody.
everything. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't come through.
Okay.
But anyway, the thing is yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Go ahead.
He's a black kid, African American, young African American kid, and his sister is also African American. However, his parents don't seem to be. I don't know if they were adopted. I don't know if they're grandparents and have kind of stepped in. I don't know the circumstances, right? Mm-hmm. But the family dynamic here is important. So Selena comes up to Laura and says, "Hey, is the drops the N-bomb a bad word?" And like Laura's like, "Yeah? Where did you hear that?" And she points to this other kid who is this other kid's sister, right? So that kid's parents get involved and say, "I told you not to say that word. You know, your brother's been saying that word, and he needs to stop as well." You know, and
See what you started, Dante.
right,
My bad.
Yeah, Laura
I
told the
corrected
story
you,
last
said
night, and I was
motherfucker.
like blown away. I was like, "Whoa!"
yeah. So Laura's like,
Yikes.
"We don't say that word.
Yeah.
We don't, et cetera, et cetera." So then they get everybody in. Laura's bringing everybody home in the car, and she's like, "Look, Selena learned a word today, and we need to have a little discussion about it, and then I want your father to have a discussion with you about it as well." But the word is a word we don't say, and said the word. So I want to rewind the clocks back a little bit because there's an intro to this, because now Jana knows, right? One time Jana said, after going to a friend's house, she was like, do you, what? Do you curse more than most parents, do you think? And I was like, I would say probably. Especially the parents that you're going to be meeting out here. But probably. And she was like, okay. It seems that way to me. And I was like,
This is very deductive reason.
Judging you.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So then I said, she said, is there any word that you don't say? And I said, there's one. There's one word that I will not say. And she was like, what is it? And I was like, well, I'd love to tell you, but I don't say it, so I can't.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, if I guess it, will you tell me? And I was like, sure, but don't go on some sort of rant. You've heard me drop most curse words, so you don't need to say words that you already know I say. But if you hear a word and you're not sure what it means and you want to understand it, come to me and we'll talk about it and I'll tell you if it's the word. So a couple months go by and she comes to me and she's like,
Oh no.
I know the word. And I'm like, oh, really? She's like, oh, yeah, I know it. And I was like, well, what is it? And she was like, well, I don't know if I want to say it. And I was like, well, that might be the wise choice. We don't need to say it. And we don't need to talk about it if you don't want to talk about it. And she was like, well, let me just see if I have the right one. And I was like, okay, sounds good. She said, is there an R in it? And I was like, yep. And she said, I know what it is. And I was like, all right, well, let's hear it. And she's like, retarded.
Oh no. Oh no. It's okay if you say the whole thing.
Mentally retarded.
Yes.
But I said no, that's certainly not it. But
Definitely one of my favorite words. And Black Phillip got mad at me about it.
Is that what
Sorry.
happened to Black Phillip?
yeah,
Black Phillip is. We don't talk about it anymore.
he's in Dante's trunk.
Sarah's trunk. Put people in my trunks.
But anyway, so now I still, and I haven't had the conversation with them yet, but I need to have to sit down and have the conversation. Shit's gonna happen, right? But I hate, the one thing I find frustrating about parenting is when an element of I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like, you keep them kind of safe from certain things, and they don't have to stress about it. They don't have to worry about it, and innocence, I guess, and I hate losing those little steps of innocence, and especially on someone else's terms.
Yeah, that sucks.
But isn't it always on someone else's turn?
It always is.
Like
'cause
when we were kids, we learned everything on the streets.
Correct.
Our
Because you're
parents didn't
never,
tell us about that
because
shit.
they're never ready. And now I'm in the same boat. I'm
Yeah.
not ready to have these conversations,
Yeah.
but you can't control when it happens.
Yeah, you found a homeless guy's stash of Penthouse magazines. I mean, it was over from there, right?
So
I never thought it would happen to me.
yeah. So I mean, and that, like when Laura was breaking the word down a bit, like Jana was just like, oh my God, like, what kind of world do I live in? Because she just doesn't have
Total
any
loss of
concept. She doesn't have
innocence, yeah.
any concept of it whatsoever. But whatever. We'll cross that bridge now, I guess. So we do have a little bit of notes, not much. I think 3 that are kind of worth kind of talking about. One is I brought in for Joe the South Park versus China thing. Have you looked into this at all?
I know of it. I mean, there's a lot of shit going on over there right now. Fucking people jump kicking fucking cops and shit in Hong Kong. It's not good.
So the animated series South Park is known for taking bold jabs at public figures.
I mean, it's great.
In the
Did
recent,
you watch the actual episode, Joe?
No, I've seen the clips and
Okay.
I've seen the response, the tweet.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of the
Dude,
response. I
the
didn't watch any
fucking
of the
response is amazing.
Yeah, it's-
we
it's
too
pretty crazy.
love money more than democracy and freedom.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's a fucking great. Oh God,
so it says in recent episode,
that guy's a national treasure.
banned in China. Randy finds himself imprisoned in China while Stan and his friends attempt to write a biopic capable of passing Chinese censors. The episode holds no punches when it comes to satirizing the current regime, with the human rights violations, and even Hollywood's attempt to appeal it. The episode has not been received well within China.
Well, South Park as a whole has been scrubbed from Chinese internet.
causing censors to remove not just the episode, but the series in its entirety from all Chinese forums, social media, and streaming sites where it was once available. This is far from an unexpected response, as similar actions were taken for cartoons such as Winnie the Pooh after comparisons were made between the fictional bear and Chinese President Xi Jinping.
Yeah, but that's how you make fun of him. He fucking hates it. You just call him Winnie the Pooh because he looks just like him. Just like him, you motherfucker.
So anyway, that's I love that somehow they have continued to. It's so hard if you think about like a series remaining edgy for so long.
They
you know,
managed to keep it up.
You know,
They're
years
fucking
now.
relevant because they do the shit the week of. Like, have you seen a documentary of them going through a week? Like they finished the episode like fucking an hour before it releases.
like I think it's got like 6 days to air or
yeah,
something.
Yeah,
it's,
it's
fucking amazing.
It's ridiculous the amount of research and work they do, like to comb through news and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because like Law and Order, it takes like a fucking months before they get
Ripped from the headlines.
Because then who posted that Law and Order is doing a Juicy Smollett episode now? Fucking how that's not relevant anymore, kind of.
Hey, total sidebar, but in that same kind of pocket. I know we don't really cover this stuff on here, but the memes alone is worth mentioning that Tekashi 6ix9ine has signed a multi-million-dollar.
So I'm not sure how
recording
true that
deal,
is, but that is what they are reporting.
I saw several sites reporting it.
Yeah, but
It's
I like
hilarious.
$10 million. Like that's an insane amount of money.
Is
you
it?
know,
Is it in the music industry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. I know they have to make a lot of money.
$1 million deal is kind of a standard.
That may,
Yeah.
Bobby,
Oh, I
and
didn't know
that may be the like. If these things happen, this is what you can get.
Right.
It may be up for you may get a.
Because he has turned down
advance.
witness protection and all sorts of stuff.
How the fuck is he gonna hide with that fucking face?
Dude, he's gonna be gone.
And he asked,
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
well, so if he gets $10 million, I mean, he can hire full-time security.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
You know, but like, I heard also that he asked to have his sentencing moved up. Like it was supposed to be in January.
Yeah, it's like the
And he
18th
said-
to December or something like that.
Because he wants to be with his family for Christmas.
That's hilarious.
Like,
Yeah.
Does he not?
dude,
Wait,
what? Like,
is he just in a different world? He doesn't realize what's going on.
I think it's because, like, but I mean, it got moved. It got moved.
I mean, we talked about this a little bit. Let's think about the time frame. This kid goes from how long was it from the time like he did that tour of Europe till now? Was it like three or
it's
4
like 3 or 4
It's not a
years.
long amount of time. So basically, he got in with these gangster dudes, figured out he wasn't a gangster. They tried to fuck him up, and here we are. It isn't like he had this long spanning history.
He seems really
I don't
detached
know.
from reality, kind of.
yeah,
Well, look at
He's
his
not
face.
very. He's not very worried about a lot of anything.
no.
He's gonna lose all his innocence. So
very quickly.
you have to be mindful of that.
And his
I-
butthole.
Well, I have no idea. Like, I'm guessing he's going home. If he felt comfortable asking for his sentencing to be moved up,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they went ahead and said, "Yeah, sure, no problem, buddy."
Yeah.
And then they were also giving him comfort breaks on the stand and shit like that.
Yeah.
My guess is he's coming right home.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, do you want to go home at this point?
Yeah. Well, apparently he does.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he not?
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
It sounds like he's not concerned. And the
Yeah,
other,
he's not concerned at all.
So here's a question I wanted to ask about that. I know this isn't a rap podcast, but I think it's an interesting kind of sociological thing, right?
And it's pop culture.
Sure. So I understand the concept of not snitching, right? In the sense of you and someone else are doing bad things together, and in order to save your ass, you tell on your friend to get a lighter sentence, and that violates a code. I get that. I'm on board.
I mean, yeah, I'd say the code even speaks for if me and you are beefing and they pull me and I don't rat on you.
Right.
Right.
If
Which
we're
then that
if we're
extends-
subscribing to the same lifestyle,
Yeah.
I get it. Now, here's the question. Like, because I'm seeing like, oh, he's a rat, he's disloyal and all this. And I'm just raising the question. During the fucking court shit, it comes out that like half of the, it seems like anyway, half of the crew was like banging his girl. They kidnapped him. You know what I mean? They were there. There's wiretaps of them talking about killing him. What does he owe them?
I don't think that's why I think he.
Yeah,
doesn't
I don't
owe
think
them
that's the
anything.
same
No,
thing as being a rat and when you're coming from the same kind of lifestyle.
But I mean, he definitely did it to save his ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
but I think the snitching thing gets taken really far beyond what I am comfortable with anyway. Like, especially with the Baltimore thing. Remember snitching?
Stop snitching?
Like, basically, you're just supposed to never say anything about anything.
Right.
Like, even if like you saw a dude kill your mom, you're not supposed to say anything.
Well, they say I mean, the general idea is that like if you're in that life, you know, like if you're a civilian, you're fine.
I guess,
You're
but
so-
that wasn't.
But you're not held to the same rules.
That wasn't the context I was getting out of it. From
But it is-
outside looking in.
It's like, man, like it doesn't seem like they would,
No.
give, like it's not. It doesn't seem like they would have. It seems like they would have sold him down the river in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
So like now he's why is he held to this standard in my head? Is like I wish that I would get. There's a lot of people. I mean, he is a hot button right now. Like any video you make with him is like 500,000 views in 24 hours, no problem. But like in any of the videos on the subject that I've watched, I haven't seen anybody kind of have that discussion. Which to me is like kind of the sociological discussion worth having.
I think it's because it has to do with the man, the law, the government, whatever. Like he's not.
I mean, I think they had eyes on this group before he even became in the picture.
Yeah,
I
I get that impression
sure.
as well.
And who knows? Maybe they put him there for a reason.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
that's a
there's
whole
talk.
other-
There's talk of that.
Yeah,
that he was
I
a
heard
plant.
something about like there's video of him being with like months prior attached to another group,
Right.
and then whatever happened there, and then he gets planted, with this group. So
But I like the clickbaity shit of it, like this, Jim Jones has been mentioned in it, and I'm a Jim Jones fan, and he went on Breakfast Club recently, and I saw like he did an interview there, hit my notifications, and it was like Jim Jones comes on, discusses the Tekashi situation. I was like, oh my god, like everything gets put on pause. I got to hear this. And then they're like, so what happened with Tekashi? He's like, I got no comment. And it's like, well, have the police bothered you at all about it or anything? He's like, I got no comment. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
This isn't what you said it was at all.
Lies.
Balling. Yeah.
They used it to get your attention. They used it to get your attention.
Right. And they got it. But it's like, they was like fucking straight bullshit.
I'm sorry. I need to amend my Nerd Week. Something I remembered totally unrelated to this. I don't know why it came to the front of my mind. I watched the first episode of Batwoman on the.
Oh, really? How was it?
I mean, I don't know that character at all, but I mean, it was entertaining. I like the girl that's playing her.
How was the chick who played Alice?
I know her from something, but it worked.
She was from the Birds of Prey show back in the day. She was the canary character.
Not the canary that was on Arrow originally, the white canary.
No.
The
from,
one from
from
Birds
Birds
of
of
Prey.
Prey.
It was like
Yeah. My bad. Sorry,
Okay,
I was
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, the
of
blonde chick. That's
Okay.
Alice.
And I watched. I just happened to catch it on. I'm going to try to watch that big crossover event that they're doing with CW.
Oh,
So
I'll get to it.
Did he say
eventually.
Michael Keaton's gonna be in it?
it's
No,
crazy.
his face-
That's some clickbait bullshit.
Well, that's why I clarified it immediately
Yeah.
because I said it's not in his. They're using his face and
looks
they're
like a
referencing the shit.
newspaper
Right.
clipping
I mean,
in
yeah.
the background.
I mean, it's still
That's
cool.
cool,
It's still
yeah.
But
cool.
it's cool that they're referencing him getting together with Selena because that was the eventual.
I watched like half an episode of Flash, and it reminds me of when I used to watch Flash. So
Well, there was another thing I needed to add as well. I watched Adam's Family Values.
Yes.
Like
Nice.
I
Oh,
watched
yeah.
it. I watched it today with the kids.
That was the second one, right?
Yes. Lots of fucking sex talk in that shit. And I was
Really?
like,
Yeah.
oh my god! I don't remember it at all. I haven't
remember
seen it.
that?
I haven't seen it
Okay.
since it first came
Yeah,
out.
I've seen.
think
And like I'm
I
sitting there,
barely remember
and
the
like
second one. I remember the first.
I mean,
the one with the
Jane
MC
is-
Hammer song, or that's the first one?
Jane is like, and
was the
I'm
first one, I think.
and I'm tired. I've had like, I drank a bit too much last night. I stayed up. I stayed up a bit too late last night.
I
I'm
got-
exhausted. I
I'm
don't.
pretty exhausted.
I don't have the fortitude to have certain conversations right now. And Jane is like, "What is a virgin?" And I was like, "People from Virginia." And I was like,
You're gonna fuck her up.
That is some A+
Dude,
parenting.
she's
sir.
gonna say something.
I just
Oh,
didn't
man.
have it in me. I didn't have it in me.
Yeah, some days are better than others.
Laura's
man.
gonna be like,
That's
"What
gonna
did
cost
you do?"
her though. If she,
That's
All
gonna
these
be-
virgins I went to camp with.
yes,
That's
what I'm saying. She's gonna use the word wrong in
dude,
a conversation.
Yeah, that's
and
gonna be bad news. eventually.
Dude, the one part I found super funny in it though was like
Versions.
it's a telephone company. They also have planes.
Wednesday was talking to this girl, and this girl was like, "I just had a baby brother. My mom and my dad loved each other so much that God talked to the stork, and the stork got a baby and brought the beautiful baby to my mom and dad." And Wednesday looks at her, and she's like, "My parents had sex."
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Christina Ricci, right?
Yeah.
She was gold in that role.
Yeah, she's perfect. All right. So next note, and we only have a few more to go. Is a little Marvel action. Downeys Endgame. He asked not to be included in the Oscar push for Avengers Endgame. He said,
There's a petition started, of course.
when news of the Oscar
petition
push
for everything now.
Yeah.
for Avengers Endgame broke, many fans were shocked to see Robert Downey Jr.'s name missing from the Best Actor conversation, as many believe his portrayal of Iron Man was the highlight of the 10-year cinematic journey. However, on the Howard Stern show, Downey Jr. revealed that he specifically asked not to be a part of the awards consideration.
Now, I have a question about how that meeting goes. Is it, he's just having a meeting and he says, hey, by the way, if you were thinking about it, or
Yeah.
did somebody come to him and say, hey,
Yeah,
hey, Bob, we're thinking about putting you up for
Yeah.
consideration. And
I'm
he's
sure
like,
someone brought it up to
no.
him.
I'm sure somebody brought it up.
I don't know, just the way it comes
He's like,
across, there's no humble pie involved.
So when Stern brought
I
up
mean,
the,
obviously there is if he's like, I don't want to be part of it.
when Stern brought up the Oscar campaign, he cited factors of the portrayal like Downey Jr.'s believability in the role. The 54-year-old actor responded by saying, I'm so glad you brought this up because there was some talk about it, and I said, let's not, and because I'm much more like you than you might really want to believe. I listened to the show, and I agree with most all your opinions, varied though they may be. Occasionally you'll go on some tributary trail of thought, and I'll go like, oh, that's not how I see it, but I love that you see it that way. So anyway, change. I don't know how that fucking relates to the story at all. But a change.org petition was recently surfaced that stating that Downey Jr. deserves a nomination for his Iron Man portrayal. The petition reads, "We, the undersigned, were so moved by Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Tony Stark that we believe he is unquestionably deserving of the Academy." Like, look, man.
Let him get the people's choice and just be done with
My
it, right?
thoughts about Endgame withstanding. Does he deserve that fucking nomination for Best Actor?
No, I mean, it was good, but it wasn't.
I don't think he has a chance against
Come the fuck on.
Joaquin.
I mean, just the role itself is. It
It's
doesn't go-
him.
Yeah.
It's like you might as well give it to fucking Nas and Belly.
Wow, that
He's just playing himself. Like that's who that dude is. I feel like that's why he does it so naturally. It changed the course of who Iron Man is because he just showed up and was himself.
I mean, they changed in the comics and everything.
I mean, like, look, I love comic book movies. I love the genre. I love everything about them. But like, I know what the fuck it is. Just because I like it and just because it's a great fucking step forward for the culture doesn't mean that you deserve Best Actor from the fucking Oscars.
No, I totally agree with you.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, people treat it like a popularity contest.
Right.
Yeah.
Let him. Like
He'll
I
get
said,
the People's Choice
He'll
Award.
get
but
the MTV
just let-
movie
yeah,
All
whatever.
Lifetime Vanguard Award.
Yeah,
and,
whatever.
let that movie win 28 special effects Oscars or whatever, and rolling down the line to the next one.
It's fucking insane, man.
It is.
Yeah, how about him in Doolittle though?
Yeah, that
Doctor
popped
Who?
up today. Yeah, the new trailer popped up today.
Wait a minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For the
He's
new
doing
I thought it was a joke, but it's not.
No,
a joke.
it's him. It's coming in January. It's Disney's doing Doolittle. And he's as Doolittle as a period piece, not the Eddie Murphy modern version, but it's a period
Thanks for
piece like the
clarifying
original.
that.
Oh, I was hoping that he would be playing Eddie Murphy playing.
I'm the dude playing the dude.
He's done it.
Another dude.
He's done blackface before,
Yeah.
obviously,
And got away with it.
and got away with
It's
it.
almost
that's
like he could
touchy right
probably
now,
do it again.
But
I don't know in today's
I
modern
don't-
context if it would
I don't
still
know
fly.
if he could
A
do
lot
it.
has changed since 2000.
A lot.
What is that?
That's touchy right now because in the
2009?
cosplay community is a thing going on. Like,
What's going on? There's like some. Yeah, I did hear something about
it's
this.
complicated. I didn't even dive into the whole thing, but like,
Joe, you're the cosplay
so-
expert.
dude, I got out the scene for many things because scenes are terrible.
The scene.
But yeah, one con is like banning any race playing, I guess.
Really?
And then this other con is promoting that there's a difference between blackfacing and not blackfacing, and they put up the picture of this French cosplayer who's like a white girl who cosplay as a black dude, and like it goes deeper, but I don't have the energy to go into it. But it is a thing still.
Yeah, no,
still in the cosplay community.
I
it's a
heard,
thing.
I
It's
heard
a
about it
Fucking,
on a resource that you wouldn't think would be talking about it.
I mean, it's big. I mean, cosplay is pretty big nowadays.
NPR,
I
probably?
mean, in the nerdom.
Was it NPR?
No, it was. I think it was Brilliant Idiots. They were talking about it.
Same. Okay.
But like, yeah, I mean, you know how my thoughts are on that. Like,
BBC America.
there is. I understand both sides of it. I do feel like there is a double standard in regard to it, but I also feel like most of the times when it gets done, the amount of care, energy, and effort that's done into it, you can tell is not intended to be negative in any way whatsoever. And this French person, that's just one of the things they talked about, had no cultural idea of
That's definitely racism in France.
quote unquote blackface.
Yeah, but that's definitely racism in France.
I'm sure there's
Just
racism
like,
everywhere.
I mean, it's not unknown. To some countries, like, oh, I have no idea racism's a thing.
Well, what country has no idea that racism? I feel like every.
I mean, if
country.
you're in a country where you're the predominant and mono-colored race and you just racist against everybody else anyway, you wouldn't really care about what they think about each other, probably.
Right, but they still understand it as a concept that racism exists.
But it wouldn't pertain to them because they wouldn't have black people in the culture. That's neither here or there. But anyway, my thing is just
But she had no idea about the historic American Jim Crow blackface,
which is fine.
Right. It's like there is.
But people who like go out of their way to attack people like her, it's not fair because she doesn't even fucking know. But like
Right.
you can, perhaps if you want to, be like, hey, this is a thing.
Right. Educate. I think that's the thing is that like I think the world in general, like instead of just getting offended and wanting to cancel somebody from Jump Street, like the first step shouldn't be that. Like the first step should be education, and then maybe a discussion.
Right. I mean, I also
see if
know
it's even
I also
valid.
know that I'm biased in the way that I think if you're an American, you live in American culture, just fucking don't do it. You have plenty of fucking choices.
So let's say
many things to do.
Let's say I want to cosplay as Blade. What do I do?
Just be White Blade.
Okay.
I've seen White Storms. It's fine. No one
And
bats an eye.
that's part of what I'm saying is
I don't know if I've ever seen a white storm.
I've seen Black Ryu and Ken before. That's normal. I've seen a few of them.
So I mean, if a color is a non-starter, then yeah, I could he could be.
No one's gonna say
but
you're not black.
But here's the deal,
But
Is
you're
he gonna
blackface then.
look
But then they'll be like, but you're not black.
right?
Yeah.
So there's not I don't know. Just you hate to say this, but kind of stay in your lane on that, and then
I mean, you just have so much choice. You have so many more choices than.
But it's not the
We
choice
do.
I want, though, Joe.
That's fine. It's America, and you do whatever you want.
what
But
about
people
it-
can
what-
also say whatever you want.
What about if it's an anime? They don't have maybe not as many choices.
What do you mean?
Like, would you say the dominant race in anime is an Asian race?
I don't know because that's not
my
because
daughter-
I know they're diverse.
Yes,
I know they're diverse.
and they take place in different like Attack on Titan. There's only one Asian person in the whole show, and she's only half.
Well, what about if you're like a huge Akira fan?
That's Japanese. It's Neo Tokyo.
Right.
But you can cosplay from Akira.
So-
Just don't fucking Asian it up like goddamn that fucking 3-0 figure you got. That I got. Fuck. I pretended I didn't have it.
And you have to pick, guess what you're taking home today.
Yeah.
So I mean, my daughter is being a My Hero Academia
Yeah, that's
character.
fine. They're
Or
Over Halloween
a boy,
this year?
actually.
Okay.
and they are. I mean, they're pretty. Whatchamacall.
Is that okay?
And
Like, why? Can,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. Well, why can women play men?
Hey,
Yeah, baby.
That's mine.
men can play women too. Look at me.
Hey, he.
I mean,
Chris last
listen,
night was
yeah,
a gigantic
but why
version
is
of
that
Olive
okay?
Oil.
I brought the pain last night, y'all.
Sex isn't an outfit.
But no
Speak for
hey,
yourself.
Gender swap.
no
That
one
was
feels a way
brilliant,
about
dude.
it. I don't feel a way about it.
Right, but
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just
Well,
saying.
that's
But in
it.
general, if you, it's called crossplay. No one really fucking
Me and
cares.
my
That's
wife,
hard.
me and Kelly were
Wait,
both
there's a term for everything. bro.
crossed
I'm
up
sure.
last night. So I did say a line last night.
Oh yeah, I did want to talk about that.
That
line.
was fantastic.
So. Chris.
Dante, you should weigh in on this, by the way.
Yeah. I'll circle right. Let me get this one story. And Chris and Kelly came as Popeye and
Olive oil.
Olive
It
oil.
was
And
It's fucking great. Chris said it was great.
Chris was
Really?
Chris was olive oil. And then
And I didn't
So
shave.
Popeye's a sailor.
so good, dude.
Then Scott and Sarah came as two sailors.
They're from Stranger Things. It was the two characters from Stranger Things.
Oh,
They worked
okay.
at an ice cream shop called Scoops Ahoy. Or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're wearing
The sailor,
Ahoy
like the
outfits.
sailor outfits.
sailor outfits.
And when they came in, Chris was like, "Oh, there's just so many sailors in here tonight."
So many sailors in here tonight.
Yeah, he was in character.
So good.
So yeah, like I don't see how. To me, like it's like, like if I wanted to, if I was someone that gave a fuck and got offended about things like that, isn't there a valid opinion there to be like, well, look, like okay, well, my sex is not a costume. You're dressing as a man, but you don't want to get fucking drafted for war, bitch, do you?
I mean, you can say that, but I'm saying nobody is.
Right. So I guess
the women aren't complaining about it, and men aren't complaining about women dressing as men. There's no one complaining about it. No one feels a way about it, as far as we know.
Yet.
Yeah. When it comes up, we'll have to address that. But
know,
like,
it's
it's Yeah, it's a non-issue right now.
I guess there's a certain. I guess I at some point I asked like, so sometimes like I'll hear white people say things like, I've heard Adam say like, the white male is often portrayed in media now as the idiot, right? Like the Homer Simpson kind of archetype.
Yeah.
And some people seem to be bothered by that. But my general attitude towards that when it's brought up by a white guy when we're having the conversation is tough it up. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like what are you?
That doesn't have to define you as a person.
And not to say about anybody in particular, but just I've heard that brought up multiple times by white men, and I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, are you so? Do you think you're a fucking idiot? So what are you worried about?
Also, that role usually implies that you have like a house and white picket fence and kids and a dog and a wife.
Correct.
And,
which isn't accurate at all.
Right. On either way, but I guess
So-
it's a little bit different. But yes,
So
I
why-
understand why you would be upset.
Some white
about that.
monarchs with green stains on them because they're crispy.
But I mean, like,
people get
I guess we could. My thing is like, when can we just get there as a culture to just say to someone who is upset, tough.
Yeah, we're past that, unfortunately.
You
That's
know?
how we
It's
were.
gonna
that's
be a
how we were
while.
raised. But
Yeah. Cancel culture is dominant now. So
My honest guess is in 3 generations.
Yeah.
Like your great grandkids when they're adults, I think that would be a much more of a non-issue. You won't be around for that.
Hell no. I'll be lucky if I make it to grandkids.
But that's what I'm guessing.
I'm getting my head froze.
My honest guess.
Yeah.
like Futurama.
dude,
Because like everyone
With the
who would
olive
be
oil
alive
hair.
would be so far removed from it. Because everyone who has to deal with those issues are all fucking dead.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that is unfortunately just going to always carry over, though.
But isn't it?
There's because I mean, even I think right now where we are as a society, as a culture, all together, we're in a better place than where we were 50 years ago.
Right.
But
A lot of racist people died.
And they're going to continue to die.
That's what I'm saying. There's been 3 generations.
there's still,
Baby.
it's still heavy. It's like
Because they raise a next generation to be that way too. But like it doesn't always take.
No, it doesn't. But
That's the beauty of it.
You're going to still run into like higher learning, for instance.
Right.
Michael Rappaport's character is this kid from Middle America. He goes to college. He doesn't know anything. He's not swayed one way or the other, but he's isolated. He feels left out. So he finds a group. There's always going to be a group, and there's no matter what, there are going to be people that just hate someone else. Hate is just something that's going to always be there regardless.
And it brings people together. As weird
Yeah.
as that sounds,
Yeah.
like it's unfortunate. But like, if I meet somebody that like doesn't like Endgame, I'm like, yo, you want to come over? I mean,
I want to have a burn notice watch party now. I mean, I know people that know.
Misery loves company.
But-
Those people are miserable individuals, and it's like, well, again, you get kids that they're just tapping around on the internet, and they see something, and they start kind of putting it together in their head, like little white kids, like.
And then the next thing you know, they're at a fucking toy convention with a bunch of other nerds, and life is good. I joke, but
But maybe
I-
if there's just less misery in life,
what was it?
Maybe that-
Martin Luther King, but to not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the merit of the character or whatever. Like
Yeah,
that's
that'd be
that's
great.
where I'm at. Like I never see anybody of any skin color and think to myself that they are better or worse because of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and regardless of whatever their choices are, it's just like as a general, I'm like, oh man, I'm more apt to do it about the fucking clothes you got on. Like you got to fucking
FUBU?
No, maybe, but like,
hey,
but not-
FUBU in
just
2019
because
is
it's
wild
trash.
as fuck.
But so I was driving out of the neighborhood the other day. There was a white guy brushing his porch steps, and he had his shirt tucked in on a Saturday. And I was like, I will fucking never be that guy.
Don't make fun of MP Collector like that. He's a good dude. I like him.
dude.
I love MP Collector, but I get on him too for it, like just like a joke. But like, I'm more apt to judge him based on his shirt being tucked in on a Saturday than I am by the color of his
I
skin.
bet you he's wild.
This guy that lives in my neighborhood. He was-
No.
Oh, MP Collector. He might
He looks
be.
always so buttoned up.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if he listens to this show. Hopefully not.
I think so.
If he doesn't listen to this show, then you can do the litmus test. Ask him about the pegging. See what that. Oh, you have to do it on the phone though. You got to get the live reaction.
I think he's wild
You
at
get
night.
this.
I think that the moment he runs that comb through his hair, that's when he becomes straight laced. It's like
Bruce Wayne and Batman.
maniac.
His personality just shifts.
Good morning, dear.
That's some American
The
Psycho
sun
shit
comes
right
up,
there.
he's pure.
Have you grabbed the newspaper from the
From the front stoop.
Yeah, my dad used to always read the newspaper. I don't feel like anybody in my generation enjoys that pastime.
No, we enjoy looking at our phones for the first hour of our day when we wake up.
But not at the news usually.
Yeah,
So
no.
it's just who liked your picture.
Yeah,
What a bunch of dickheads we
I'm
are.
just looking for a bunch of memes to fucking float out there for the first half of the day.
I can see my dad in a crystal clear, vivid memory of him at the kitchen table, cigarette in one hand, cup of coffee in the other, and the newspaper laid out.
Yeah.
Like at the, you know what I mean? Like that was every morning.
So in my travels, hotels always have newspapers, and a lot of the time, if it's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm driven in, I'll just grab whatever's left, and I'll use it for packing material or whatever. I was in a hotel recently, and like, do you have any newspapers? Like, no, we stopped getting them because nobody was reading them.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's kind of like
I
a turning
definitely
point
sign
because
of the
hotels
times,
have
man.
always had, USA Today or the local.
Yep.
It was just interesting.
For work, when we do auctions, we have to put a newspaper ad.
I wonder what's going to happen to that when newspapers are gone. You put it on Craigslist, put it on Backpage.com.
I mean, I definitely judge people.
Because like
Go
I mean, they
pick up a hooker while you're there.
it still goes to the Baltimore Sun, their website.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay, so
the paper's
it's
still
internet.
made out. Because when we missed the paper, I had to like go on there and print it out. And also at the library, but it's still weird to me that we do the newspaper ad. Legally, we have to do it. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure we
understand how
have
that
to
works.
put it.
Yeah, because you have to tell somebody.
It's like, can't we put it anywhere else? Because who the fuck's reading a newspaper?
Craigslist was probably be
Like,
better.
yeah, just throw it on Craigslist. Somebody's gonna find it.
Put it in the cheapest.
Backpage. There we go.
And
FBI
honestly,
sees that
we
site
do the
over.
auctions online anyway, so
Okay.
most people know if you are already like a buyer,
Yeah.
you know to go to Storage Treasures, and that's where you're gonna
Storage Wars.
like figure it out.
It was all fake.
No, we carry like three of each newspaper in my work. I definitely judge people who comes in and asks for a newspaper and buys them. I'm like, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. This is yesterday,
You get
bro.
a newspaper now? Yeah, you're a little late. That news is fucking
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, we already knew about that last night.
So our last news bit for the day. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to get Dante's opinion on what do you feel? Do you feel a way?
For like the blackface.
yeah,
stuff,
one way or another.
I honestly don't care.
Don't care?
personally.
Yeah,
It-
I mean
it's
it's fine. I like to get more
'cause it's-
feedback.
It's like you were saying, like if you see like the work that the person put into it. There's someone who a couple dressed up as Jay-Z and Beyonce one year for Halloween. You can see it was. You can see they took pride in putting that together. It still looks shitty, but that
The intention, I guess.
yeah, like I don't think the intention was to be disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm more offended by the trash costume.
yeah, this was like it looks fucking horrible. But you
No,
know,
we don't judge people by the costume in the costume community. That's that's not. That's
I didn't
taboo.
think of it as like, oh, they're definitely racist. But I also, it's like, I'm out in Pasadena and I see Confederate flags quite often.
Yeah,
And-
that's crazy.
And in my head, like I see that shit, and it's like I like had a dude come in the other day, nice guy, really really nice guy. And we're talking about just things like healthcare and stuff like that. And it was like, I mean, it's rough out there. He's like, kind of venting. He goes, and not to get into politics or anything, because I don't know shit about politics nor care. And
Right.
He's like, well, Trump's out there doing the best that he can with this healthcare stuff, and then I was like, I guess I don't think anyone's really trying to do the best that they can.
I hate when
with any of
people
this.
try to get you involved in some shit that
Yeah.
you don't want to have any involvement
Yeah.
in conversation.
Yeah.
They try to like reel you in. It's like, dude, like there's nothing about this conversation that I'm gonna find interesting. Like you might as well talk to me about what fucking lawnmower you're looking at. Like I don't care.
Husqvarna,
But
15 horsepower,
but like
bagger attachment.
like in that,
But it's just like Anne Arundel County is such a weird place to imagine. You know what I mean? Like
well, even like because like
bunch of people
Pasadena,
with fucking-
it's like you see a bunch of Confederate flags, so it's like outward racism. But then you go, a couple blocks up to Verna Park, and it's like the yuppie like preppy people,
Right.
and it's like passive aggressive racism.
So what
But those are the ones that like the ones that with the flags. It's like I'm okay because I know
Well,
you're
that-
not getting a Christmas card.
that's what
but the ones who are like passive aggressive about those are the ones I want to fuck up.
So
'Cause I don't know.
So
if
at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, when it's all said and done, when the rubber meets the road, would you rather just like, here's my flag, know who I am, instead of me wearing my vineyard vines and. Dude, I learned a term this week, microaggression. Are you guys familiar with this nonsense?
Dude, you read newspaper.
No,
That's a 2-year-old term.
I saw it on a TV show, but actually, it would be
sitcom?
like, I read your report and it was actually good. It's a microaggression, just throwing those little jabs in there.
Well, I do think there's like
Some subtle racism.
but I also think there's like subtle. I don't even know how to call it. Like a black girl that I went to school with, very cool, and I put her on. I used to put her on in music all the time. She got super offended about this comment that somebody said that she was well spoken, which many black people feel that way. Like, what you expect. I get that compliment often, and I think it's
Well, you have 1,400 videos.
You still can't say sword.
But I
He's
think
changed the whole dynamic.
I think,
Swords.
but I think it's not because, obviously it's not because I'm white, right? I think it's because when I walk into a room, the way that I carry myself, the way that I look, the way that I dress, the nature of who I am as a person, presence-wise.
I like how you looked at your monkey paws.
Dude, that is
Because sometimes I look at
that is a sausage ass fingers.
Big meaty claws.
a buddy of mine one time, and he's kind of a simple dude. I love him.
Not
but-
well spoken though, right?
No, not at all. And a white guy, not well spoken. He was like, "Let me see your hand." And he was like, "Man, you got pretty big hands, man. I didn't know you." He was like, "But you never worked outside, did you?" And I was like, "I'm not sure if you understand how genetics work."
You don't get bigger hands.
Got nothing to do with
See, my dad worked outside, so that's why I got the hand.
So anyway, but because when I walk into a room, people don't expect me to be able to speak, and I think that's what it's about, and it may have more to do, and I think that culturally, her and I are similar. So I don't like.
But are they judging you because it's what you're wearing and the way you carry yourself, and they purely judging her because she's black?
I don't think so.
Because
I think
she wears the same kind of.
Correct. I think that when you see like somebody walking, regardless of race, regardless of it, when you see somebody walk into a room and they're like in a 3-piece suit, you're like, oh, they probably know how to talk.
So I ran into that last year. There was a lady, she needed to get into one of the spaces, locked out, but I helped her out. I was like, fucking go in, whatever. So she calls back a month later, asking about the unit, and I was like, yeah, it's past due, can't get in. She was like, well, like last month there was a young man there, he let me in for like 10 minutes. He said I had 10 minutes, but he gave me a lot more time. Oh, and I was like, oh yeah, that was me. I was like, that was you? I was like, yeah. He was like, you're an African American man? I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm not racist. I was just like,
When you had to say that,
so like, but see now.
I don't think that's racist. I think that's just being descriptive to answer a question.
But I think it's also
that's the
culture.
difference.
I think it's also culture. Like it's that that people, especially, well, I think it happens to every race, but I think that white people cannot separate in their heads the difference between hip hop culture and black culture. Yeah. But I also think that other people, when they look at white culture, they can't separate the nuances within white culture, and they imagine all of us to have flavorless chicken salad and shit like that. Like we
all use pepper.
Yeah, and like because
Maryland, yeah,
It's Maryland. It's just in the air.
Because there's just sweeping generalizations that we make based on lack of information about the culture.
I've got one. Oh, where are you from? Alabama. Well, you don't have an accent. I mean,
Accent?
What are you expecting me? I mean,
Right.
You expecting me to talk like, hey, you want to go on an old tractor pull next Tuesday, man?
I met people in Maryland who speak like that.
Oh, I'm sure that, Western Maryland.
Yeah.
down the barrel.
Oh, not even Western.
Yeah.
Southern.
Well, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
I don't. There's some words I say that come out of it, but listen, if I get around another person,
The draw will come out.
We're going to the rodeo, but that's kind of a thing. Like, and I never. It's kind of hard to express this, but like being from the South, I guess I kind of had a mentality of being less than people from the north to an extent because the way the world portrays, you know, somewhat Southern people is simple,
and that's culture.
It is. And coming up here, I'll be honest, I was a little intimidated being around all you Northerners,
Yankees.
Until I got. I mean, I was comfortable with everybody. Don't get me wrong, but it was just like, how am I going to be perceived? Being the guy from down south.
Well, and I think that I think you kind of lucked out because like Maryland is like the DMV in general.
Well, this is like the landing spot between the two.
Well, that's the thing is like
you guys talk weird, neat weird, but
we're too Southern for Northerners. We're too Northern for Southerners. You know, we have one more note to get to. And I'm just going to do it. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this. And I'm not even sure they did a great job of explaining it in this article. But does everyone remember that Martin Scorsese's name was attached to Joker at some point?
Yes,
we talked
at the
about
very
it on the show.
beginning.
No,
Yes, it was, and then he kind of faded into.
And then it kind of just.
I'd forgotten until I read,
Yeah.
I guess, the article.
And that made me think of it again. Which is why
Did you
I posted
read this
it.
article?
Savage Dragon.
Dude?
Get any
that
updates
that
on
was my
Savage?
favorite bit from last week's
Is
show.
The
That
Rock
was
busy
awesome.
for Savage Dragon.
Heavy cop drama.
That was dude. We can make it dark and gritty.
Martin Scorsese caught flack earlier this month for dismissing comic book films, despite many fans pointing out he was a producer on Joker. But a new report claims that while he might be credited as a producer, he quietly departed the project and had his producing partner take over the necessary responsibilities. According to The Hollywood Reporter, a Warner Brothers source revealed to them that Scorsese's initial involvement was born out of a need for a producer based in New York City, only for Emma Tillinger-Koskoff, somehow I feel like she's racist, to enlist...
What's up, girl?
to enlist much of the crew from Scorsese's The Irishman to shoot the DC Comics film. The outlet pointed out that Scorsese isn't quick to serve as a producer on a film unless he was directly involved in developing the project or if he wants to use his notoriety to boost a project from lesser-known filmmakers. As Joker doesn't fit into either of these categories, it seems more likely that while Joker has been drawing comparisons to some of Scorsese's most iconic films, he served as a producer in name only, with Koskoff handling whatever his obligations might have been. The report would fall much more in line with Scorsese's overall view of comic book movies, which we kind of already talked about. And like, listen, I feel like this. All right, I'll circle back to it. Understandably, his involvement with Joker and comments dismissing superhero films were called out for being hypocritical. But if he wasn't involved in the new film, he likely doesn't want to distance himself from the Joker on the record. But I don't think, I think that the type of movies that he's criticizing is not the type of movie that the Joker is.
No.
It's not.
He's criticizing the more.
He's
comic book style film.
The fantastic. Like this is a different type of movie, and I feel like anybody who's upset with Martin Scorsese for not liking superhero movies is fucking out of their mind.
I mean, Jennifer Aniston said something that was completely taken out of context, and they blew it out. About Jennifer Aniston bashes Marvel.
Yeah, I think
she basically said, "I don't want to be in those huge green screen movies."
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Don't just be in your rom coms and make your money.
Anyone ask you to be one? I don't think so.
There's an article that
Can Jennifer Aniston?
She's gonna be
Savage Dragon.
She's gonna be
Can she be a love interest for the Rock? The Rock.
The Rock with a fin on his head.
The Rock with a fin on it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm out on the Rock superhero movie.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm
going
to will this into existence.
So if he ends up being Black Adam, are you out on that? Because I think he'd be interesting in that role.
I'd had to see like honestly.
Remember, you saw Shazam was going to be trash.
I'd had to see the trailer.
What if he lands on a boat and
I don't think he's a good actor.
And says,
no, I don't think he is.
Permission
So,
to
like-
come aboard.
There's like two films that I appreciate him in, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think there's one for me. I don't think I like him in
I
any movie.
appreciate
Period.
his entire body of work.
Whoa, whoa.
His entire body or body of work?
That's a big
How'd you end that
that's a body
sentence?
of work. No, I mean I have some. I don't say an attachment, but I follow his career maybe because of the wrestling background.
Of
and,
course, yeah.
You know, and he's legitimately he comes across as a funny guy, like on his Instagram posts and stuff. And
Yeah,
I mean, he's a
super
I think he's a
Calms
genuine
the
guy.
pants off you.
Yeah,
He
he is
does.
a very charming guy, but it doesn't
yeah,
mean
he seems cool.
I don't know, but listen, The Rock, Savage Dragon, and I want Savage Garden to do the soundtrack.
Oh my god, are they still alive? The two of them?
I want to stand.
Cameron seems cool. I don't want to be president of the United States.
You'd be about it.
I might be.
Big fur coats for the entire cabinet.
I might be.
He's gonna paint the limo pink.
He takes and he's like,
White House
he's
gonna
like,
be pink.
he's like, the number one thing we're going to start around here, we're going to get the computers Putin.
Is that a Russia reference? Wow, look at this guy being that's a microaggression towards a foreign country.
Microaggression.
I'm gonna do a maxi aggression.
I don't like.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, that's what I prefer. I prefer the max.
I'm gonna be honest with
Just
you.
tell
So
me
fuck
that
you.
you don't wear your Confederate flag and I'll be cool. Like, but
Are you
if-
for real?
Yes,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
you're
cool.
staying.
All right.
My thing, like with that, like
But if not, but you're like, hey, so like I have black friends.
not prejudice.
It's like I have black friends. I just don't want them coming over to my house. It's like what?
I have, yeah, that's crazy. I have
Wow.
questions about the Confederate flag.
Tell me. Stars and bars.
Just like
That's deluxe.
like
Put it on a shirt
I don't
box.
want to get too in the woods on it, but I
not
feel
very creative.
But I feel like often people that are Confederate flag
Flyers.
flyers
And drivers.
and
Yes.
are often very patriotic.
They are.
and those two
They don't. Because
they're opposing ideas to me.
it's ignorance. They don't really know what the fuck shit. Whatever.
So
It's like Cody not understanding the Tea Party thing.
Well,
yeah.
and look,
I think flags are pretty fucking dumb anyway, personally. But I love the Maryland flag.
well, I would
Dude,
say
that's a fucking sharp
Yeah,
flag.
that fucking
it's
flag
without a doubt
son.
the best looking flag in the union.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
a
they're nice
easily.
colors.
yeah.
it's
I
bananas,
love that
and
shit.
it goes with anything: pants, socks,
Yeah.
shirts, hats,
See
underwear.
them at the same time.
Kind of
Leggings?
like Old Bay.
Crab shapes.
And you can buy all of that at the fucking Weiss by my house. Seriously,
Right next to the Old Bay.
next to, they have the Old Bay kiosk too.
All right, let's wrap this up.
okay.
Okay, you have something?
No, I forgot. Well, it's fine. It's fine. I don't remember the
We
point.
have questions this week? Or no?
I'm starving. Nope, not a single
all
one. We're recording super early though.
They're like, dude,
yeah,
it's Sunday.
Fuck. Paulsy hasn't had time yet.
So we got together to make this happen on Sunday. Yeah, just because.
I mean,
Thanks,
that was one of the
guys.
things we're talking about, opportunities to get together at different times.
Yeah.
And have
that's
different
good.
people.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
it,
yeah.
let's swing by. So.
and it was good. It was a good
I'm
talk.
always down for a Sunday because I ain't doing shit.
I mean, it actually works pretty good.
I
for me.
mean,
I know y'all's schedule is very
Sunday works well for me too, to be honest.
It's the
except
timing.
except once a month when there's a wrestling pay per view.
But I was
If
also
I could just have
thinking.
a TV right here, I'm
I
fine.
mean,
But I was also
got
thinking
you.
at some point what we
I'll
could,
work right on the phone.
We'll do it on the phone here.
what we could do is have when it's not when I'm not half hungover and exhausted that we could do something like do like a big get together dinner thing and then just do some hardcore pod and afterward.
That's white as fuck.
Well, you know what?
Holy shit.
That's from Joey. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, top 5 rapper.
You know what's funny to me is that Scott last night was like. He was like, man, I listened to your boys' podcast, and I thought he was talking about the Fifth Column because Scott's like a super political dude, and I was like, the Fifth Column. He's like, no, Joe Budden. He's like, it's pretty fucking good, man. And I was like,
I haven't listened to them. I haven't listened to anything in so long. Like no podcasts. I'm trash.
Do you listen to episode 300?
I actually did not know.
what's funny?
I don't quite sure.
I'm 3/4 through it.
One of the funny things I asked people to mention their favorite moments from Shattercast in the comments, and some of the comments have been great. One other thing, I'll go out on this joke. A guy who hangs around some other friends of mine, and he's a younger person, came up to me this week and was like, "Can I talk to you about something?" And I was like, "Sure." And he was like, "You used to really get under my skin, man." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "It was one of the first times I started coming around, and you walked up to me out of nowhere, and you were like, 'Hey, you're losing your hair.'" And I said, "I know." And then you said, "It's awfully young to be losing your hair." And he said, "I know." I said, "Are you going to do anything to stop it?" And he was like, "Well, I don't know what to do." And he was like, "Well, have you?" And then apparently I said, "Well, have you not noticed? You haven't noticed you're using a little less shampoo every night, a little bit more soap?"
God damn, dude.
I started laughing. I was like, "Damn, man, I'm getting these jokes off, man." And he was like, "I was 18 years old."
Wow, that's harsh.
That's some
I started losing my noticeably losing my hair in my early 20s.
Me too. I was like 23.
I think I started shaving my head when I was 25.
And all this was powerful in the front.
Bro, I saw a picture of you last night.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know it was you at first.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
like,
welcome.
that was
I
wild
didn't
as
even
fuck.
say like text me. That shit was like
I've got some trash pictures like that too somewhere.
Yeah,
My
but like
parents' house.
the thing is, people used to tell me like, "Dude, you're losing your hair," and I was like, "No, because it was powerful everywhere else that I could see." And then
spot.
so I had a picture got back to me, and it was like I was at a party and they were taking pictures of somebody else, but I was in the background. You could see the back of my
see it.
head, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
I remember going to get my hair cut, and I said, is there anything you can do about that? And they laughed like, nah. Just cut it a little
There's
shorter.
something you can apparently take now,
There's all sorts of stuff, but I haven't seen,
but I'm not.
I always think about that that episode of The Simpsons where it's not minoxidil. They call it something else. And overnight he's got these flowing locks and he gets promoted and all and then Bart uses it on his face and it's like once if you don't take it every day, it just all falls and everything falls apart.
Yeah.
I always think about that. I mean, I'll be honest, I used Rogaine. I tried it.
I still use Rogaine.
Does it seem to work for you?
I think it's helped me hold on to
hold
what
on
I
that.
had,
See,
because otherwise I'd probably be shaving my head already.
I think I was too far gone by the time I started using it.
Dragging a razor across my flesh every couple of days is not a fucking good day.
You know what? I'll be honest.
gonna
with
have
you,
to do it eventually.
I'm fine with it because I've been doing it so long, and it literally takes 3 minutes. I don't have to go to a fucking barbershop or a salon.
I miss going to a barbershop.
I mean,
I'll probably close shave mine for a while before I ever do razor.
Yeah, that's the progression of things.
Hey, do you remember the big dude Matt? He used to hang
Tank?
around. Yeah, yeah. Like I remember 8th grade, he had a head full of hair. Freshman year,
God damn.
Damn, that's way
but
young.
but there's some shenanigans about that dude. His dad worked for the government. Because he couldn't get his driver's license because he didn't have like a birth certificate, didn't have a social security number.
Is he an alien?
What?
Like
Was he Area 51?
I
and
he didn't
having-
come to Brutus's funeral either. I remember.
I haven't fucking heard from that dude
weird,
since
man.
high school.
It's weird.
Well, yeah, because like we were trying to reach him. I was like, dude, you got to know. It was like,
Shout out to the rest of the cool table. Shadowcast Uncut, Enter the Realm, Beer and Bolters 401k, Stasis Lock, Toy Detox, Building Up to It, Breaking the Mold, Fresh Communications, and Verbally Challenged, as well as the rest of the Nerd Race team. We have Dante here. Thanks for joining us, Dante. We have Phil here. Thanks for joining us, Phil. And we have Manny working behind the scenes, and we have Gort helping with Force Sensitive, and we have, I feel like, Raul on Instagram, and then and I'm just going to shout out Andy just because he's been a huge help, but we're going to do a little bit more stuff too. So, yeah, I think that'll do it.
Hey, just reminder, if you want to make us a logo, send it to an email. Yeah, okay.
The email. Say the email.
Oh, it's chris.pinkerton@gmail.com.
Or nerdrageradio@gmail.com.
Yeah, let's not give them too many options. They're going to fuck it up anyway.
don't send shit to me.
Don't post it on Facebook.
With that, Flappy Labius.
Velvety vagina.
Wax buttholes, baby.
Tasty taints.
Tight dick player. That was good.
Good shit, guys.
Good shit.